Welcome to the podcast.
The podcast.
Hello from my dining room. I am here with Joe, Josh, and myself because I can't get away from me, unfortunately. We've named the podcast. We've named it. Yay! We've named it The Escape Pod. As you will probably know by this YouTube video name. You'll be like, what's the Escape Pod? Oh, right, that's what they've named their podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So it's no longer Joe, John, and
original.
Josh's awesome podcast, although it is still our awesome podcast. We've just named it The Escape Pod, your weekly thing for things, and
Of us talking rubbish.
rubbish, and your escape from reality.
Yeah, for
Hence the
3
escape
hours.
Yes.
So, obviously, big plug to Luke, Georgie, and Lee. It's always Lee, I forget. I wish I didn't forget, because he's like the bossest
He's lovely.
He's the bossest guy ever. You guys were just sat there playing Commando with him, and I was like, oh god, please write them both. And he's just sitting there like, yeah, probably. But then...
And bided his time, and then...
He did break you both, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, right at the end.
Tracks a rule.
It was just like, I have 4 hit points, I have 4 life left. And then I'm going to annihilate both of you in one turn.
So, as we were saying, Luke, Lee, and Georgie down at Last Round Games. Get down there for all of your gaming needs. Like I say, they're officially licensed by Wizards of the Coast, by Fantasy Flight Games, so they have tournaments and stuff like that. And D&D nights, they've got board games to play, cards, all sorts. By the way, we've just eaten, so there's going to be a lot of food repeating on us, and these blank moments. We ate too much.
Like, way too much.
Stupid kebab house with its ridiculous portions.
Hi, I'd like a small chips and cheese.
Yeah. Here's your small chips and cheese. Mate, that could feed 90. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
but
never mind.
there's times where we've done it before and we've just looked at it and like... do that
I'm
again.
still hungry. Yeah, unfortunately. We're all big guys here, aren't we?
Apart from...
Minus Joe.
Minus Joe, yeah.
But we need the face of the podcast. We're the muscle, we're the brawn, and there's the face. We're fine.
Really?
That's how we're getting the girls in.
Really?
I think that was the plan anyway.
Yeah.
With the voice of him plugging last week.
With the rapey voice.
Yeah.
Leave the kid
That'll
with
get
Prince
no
out of
one.
this.
So like I say, Luke, Lee, Georgie down at Last Round Games. They are on Bowley Court, getting there, buy
Getting
some
there
stuff
now.
for Christmas, because hey, Christmas is coming. Time to buy some cool stuff for people. They do gift cards now as well, so you can get down there
And
buy
they
yourself a gift card.
look really nice as well.
They do look nice. They've got their
I got showed
insignia
them.
on
They were pretty.
Oh, they're not just bits of paper written out.
Yeah.
It's not on the flag.
Gift card, £10 on a piece of A4 paper.
And I gotta say, Luke has been sat schooling me at X-Wing all day. So
Has he?
I thought about not doing the plug and being like, no, fuck him, he beat me at X-Wing, but no.
Yeah, but your game the other night was like intense.
So close. But there you go. So, as we normally do, what have we been doing this week? Joe.
I have actually been playing The Last Guardian.
Okay, so you got your PS2 back out.
Yeah, I finally got the PS2 out.
The Last Guardian obviously came out on PS4 last week?
Last week.
Thursday, something like that, yeah.
Friday.
We should probably move the podcast to like Friday so we can cover new releases, but fuck it.
Yeah, but a lot of releases are coming out on Tuesdays as
Yeah,
well.
but the
now.
problem is that like Sophie's not here on Tuesdays, so it kind of makes sense for us to kind of use up all the time that I don't have with my wife. Kind of makes sense.
with these guys.
With this.
Yeah.
With all this guy love. So yes, Last Guardian.
Last Guardian.
How are you finding it? Because I've got to be honest, I've been looking at a few videos and it looks like Eco, but janky as fuck.
Yeah, it's got that Team Eco charm with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, the way that stuff flows, there's the entire world that they've created is gorgeous. After being in development for, 7+ years?
I thought it was
And the
10.
rest.
I thought it was
And
10.
the rest. Oh,
I thought it was double figures.
It was announced at the same time that Final Fantasy Versus was.
Oh,
Yeah, and
God,
that was
yeah.
PS3, and that
Yeah.
was not long after the PS3 had come out, in all honesty.
In all fairness, actually, I think it's even longer than that because it was originally announced for PS2, wasn't it? And then it
think
went
so,
for a
yeah.
PS3 development cycle.
Are you saying that just because you said it was a PS2 thing when you
No,
forgot?
I mean the joke about it being there, but I'm not 100%, which is basically the podcast.
Don't believe anything that
The
we
podcast
say.
in a nutshell. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to say it as if it's fact. I'm pretty sure it started at the end of the PS2 cycle, and then they turned around and were like, "Oh, we should move this to PS3," and then it had budget problems.
Yeah, it
after
had very,
the PS3
very
cycle,
budget problems.
and then it moved to PS4. I think Sony finished off the funding.
Yeah.
Is it because it's not on Xbox? Is it?
No.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure Sony finished off the funding, and that's why we've got Last Guardian on PlayStation 4. With its PlayStation 2 graphics.
Got to put it out there.
No,
I
it's
don't
gorgeous.
think they're going to make a lot of money on it, personally.
Neither do I. The problem I think is like there was a bit of a bid to get like redraw interest in with the Eco and Shadow of the Colossus HD remasters on PS3. 2 years ago?
Something like that.
Something
Yeah.
like that. And I kind of felt like if they'd have released it at the end of that year or at the start of the year following,
It would
then
have sold a lot more.
it would have drummed up a lot. But the thing is, we've been waiting for it for so long. I don't know about. I think you basically jumped onto the bandwagon because that's what you do. You're the brave one out of us. We've been looking at it going like, well, I do want to play it, but at the same time, I kind of don't want to pay full price for it because it's like I say, the videos just look janky.
Yeah,
It
like
doesn't
I
look
say,
terrible.
The game is gorgeous. Like, I mean, the way that the Griffin thing animates. Trico.
The
is,
bird chihuahua thing.
Yeah.
Seriously, it walks
That has
like a cat.
little antler things.
I have had the ending spoiled for me. I'm delighted.
Who ruined it?
Huh?
Who ruined it?
Myself, I was on YouTube looking for videos of it, and the ending came up first. And I was like,
That's fantastic!
fuck's sakes, YouTube! Seriously? First thing, and the guy who'd done the video had done the last scene,
Yeah.
like with the title credits like rolling. That was the thumbnail. So I know exactly how it finishes, and I'm delighted with how it finishes actually. Obviously I can't say if it meets my expectations from what I said.
Did it make you cry?
Yeah.
Really?
And to be fair, well, not like cry, not like no,
not like Mad Feels.
not like Final Fantasy 15 actual mad feels of I'll be fine, I'm not gonna cry kind of thing. You know, you guys were the best. Yeah, they were the best. God, make it a better game for fuck's sakes. It was such a good story.
Oh my god! The whole thing when they're going on about they're doing a patch for it. We're not going to bag on it, but
Yeah, they're actually
just
patching
the patch of the story when the story was fine.
I'm sorry.
No.
what?
To be fair, they're what they're actually doing is patching chapter 13, which
I heard it's boring as fuck.
As Amy has told me, basically all you do is walk down a corridor with a ring on a 30-second cooldown, and you use it and it instantly kills something. And you basically spend about half an hour doing that while I might just spoil shit. So I'm not going to say anything else.
Shut your mouth!
It's crap, essentially. But they're sorting out chapter 13, so it's not crap.
I'm
It's
still on
brilliant.
chapter 2.
I'm still on chapter 1 because I traded it in.
Is
Anyway,
chapter 1 still the bit with the
let's
second
not
part?
bag on Final Fantasy,
Final Fantasy
anymore.
is done with.
We've said game is absolutely fucking fantastic. I just wish they put a proper combat system into that. I'd still be playing it. The Last Guardian, as we were saying, what were you saying before we tangented? Oh yeah, the ending. It evoked feels.
Yeah.
I was looking at it like,
Not te feels.
no, Tef feels.
Te feels.
Not like bawling my eyes out like, you guys are the best. Yeah, they fucking were. Shut the fuck up, Noctis. Kind of like, fuck. Okay, cool. And then just kind of came away from the monitor like, I'll get a cup of coffee now. That was it. How
Yeah.
far have you got into it?
I've played a good hour, 2 hour of it.
Is Trico as an annoying bastard as every video I've watched is making out?
See, I look at it and I just
Because Jim
go,
Sterling panned it. And to be fair, he panned it. But
I want to see this.
I was watching it and I was like, the point he was making was that they made it very animal-like. So sometimes it just doesn't listen to you.
Yeah.
As a kind of point of saying it's an animal, you're not really friends with it as such. You're just kind of working in unison with it. I was watching Donkey's video and the bloody thing ate him at one point. Trico literally ate the kid.
What?
Yeah, he's like sitting there.
That's story related, by the way.
He's like sitting there on the bridge, just kind of chilling,
And he nods him.
and then his eyes just go red, and he eats the kid, and he dies. And I was like, what the fuck? And then like he goes back, and it's sort of showing that this thing, it's its own intelligence, and it kind of acts on its own. The problem is it's game intelligence, and quite often he was showing that this thing will just walk down a corridor to like 2 areas past. Oh, Trumpton.
Yeah.
Wait, Trumpton.
Yeah, so if you hear like Christmas music, Trumpton's coming through town.
It's Christmas.
Trumpton.
If for those who don't come from Melton, I really hope we don't have any fans not from Melton. Trumpton is a thing that drives around. It's a old style fire engine that drives around.
With Santa.
And Santa stands on it, and they go door to door asking for money, which is great because I
They'll
can't
knock
break
on
the
the door.
podcast because we'll have a knock on the door and they'll be like, "Cat and money." We've not got any money. You can't have any.
I can give you this bit of
You have this bit of foam that I use to do my X-wing figures thing, which obviously spoils what I've been doing this week.
Yeah.
What would you rate it at the minute?
At the minute, I'm still obviously getting into the bones of it. I can understand, like,
Are you enjoying it?
yes.
Despite all of its jank.
Despite all of its jank, because it definitely does feel like the PS2 era of you're jumping and yet you feel like you're like swimming in the air sort of thing. And wow, those lights are really friggin' bright.
Yeah, nobody can see them on the podcast.
Children playing.
I thought we said we weren't going to say
Having fun.
We always break that rule.
Yeah, we do.
So
It's
overall, you'd say it's.
They're going to knock on your door.
Oh, I'm gonna give them some money. I'm not a dick. I'm not a jerk. I'm gonna go and give them some money. Oh, I did not just do that.
Stop breaking the place.
There you go.
Thank you very
No
much.
problem.
Merry Christmas.
You too. Bye. Because I refuse to do. I'm just gonna get a towel because I knocked over some water. You guys keep talking about that.
About shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So Blast Guardian, obviously it's been in development for so goddamn long. You can kind of feel like it's been in development for so goddamn long. Like I keep saying,
do you feel there's a lot of that kind of stale development?
yeah,
Obviously, careful, don't slip.
it does. Feel,
Sorry about that.
It does feel like it's got the stale development thing. Like I always say, it's the Duke Nukem syndrome. Like
You make a game for so long, there's just going to be stuff hanging around from old development, new development wants to put new stuff in, and you just kind of sit there going like,
yeah, and while it does have those flaws, like I always like my gaming experiences, it's one of those experiences. I mean, that Trico thing is adorable as hell. Literally, it plods about. As
You
if
were
it-
saying it's literally a cat. It'll
Yeah.
like piss off and just sleep.
Yeah.
And you have to like slap it and wake it up, kind of thing, for it to even
You can
move.
pet it, for God's sake. You can calm it down by literally just holding down the circle button while on it. And
Fair
it will actually just like start purring and stuff. It's
Anything
Sounds
else
like a
this
combat
week
system
then?
to me.
other-
Sounds like something Final Fantasy did.
Yeah. They did.
Some interaction that isn't holding down a button. What is this?
Other than that, just my usual pick up and plays of Overwatch, Binding of Isaac, and continuing with Darksiders.
Cool.
But other than that, that's me.
Awesome. Well, we haven't really played any games this week, have we?
No, not at all.
We've been kind of. I mean, I've been playing Path of Exile because the new Breach League is out, and to be fair, it's not any better than it was. Some of the new skills are fun. I've got this skill called Scorching Ray that just sets people on
That
fire.
looks insane. I
Did you watch
watched that.
it the other
That's
day?
mental.
All you do is basically shoot it round in a circle and everybody just burns to death, and you're like, yep, cool.
What was the spell that you had? I saw you like put out a load of pets, and then I saw loads of little life bars appear, and I was
Oh, Val summon
like,
skeletons.
"The shit!"
Summon 17 skeletons, 6 skeleton archers, 4 skeleton mages, and 2 generals that basically buff them all with
I
an
did-
element, and they just go spare for like 30 seconds.
I did.
Val?
Val.
What level have you leveled? Oh, what level have you leveled that thing then? The actual crystal.
Oh,
Val
I
summon
think it's
skeleton.
level 7, 8-ish.
Bloody hell! And you're summoning that many skeletons?
Yeah.
I just loved it. Watching the frame
it's one
rate
of the
drop.
Val skills. So you charge up a crap load of... You charge up souls fighting with it, and then you can cast it like once every 30 kills or something like that.
Oh.
So it's not very good on bosses and stuff, but it's fun. To be fair, I've dropped it now because it's got to the point where everything was just one-shotting all the skeletons anyway. So it was like, haha, skeleton! Oh shit!
But I love it when you were doing it and you were casting your Scorching Ray and doing that and watching like the frame rate drop to like 2.
Yeah, but you see on mine, it was fine. It was just
Yeah,
obviously stream quality.
When I was watching it was like, oh, right, okay.
But other than that, and to be fair, I haven't been playing a lot of it because I've been busy. I work in retail and it's Christmas. It's like, yeah, I've mainly been tabletopping. To be fair, we've got into X-Wing.
Yeah,
And,
you really should. It's so good.
Well, I was going to say the opposite. I was going to say that X-Wing is really, really good, but like get into it tentatively because
Oh, God, yeah.
expensive.
You can't have stand-ins. You've got to actually have the actual
So I spent
ship.
I spent £50. I bought the starter set and then I bought myself 2 extra ships.
Soph's not listening to this, right?
She knows what I've spent on it. So you two obviously bought me Crizzy Prezzies. You bought me the Millennium Falcon and Poe Dameron's thing, which is amazing. And you got me the B Wing and the A Wing, I think it was, or whatever. They were such sick ships. But all in all, I've got about £100 worth of stuff. And I feel like I'm only scratching the surface. So it is expensive, but...
Expensive.
As the outsider on this one, I'm going to say, like...
If you buy it carefully...
If you buy it carefully, like...
I kind of feel like...
Look at the listings of what you want to run first, I think.
I'd even say, like, the upgrades that you get sometimes aren't as... necessary as you think. It's like, changing one dice roll. It's like, yeah, it can win you the game, but then sometimes it just doesn't. Buying the starter set has all the really important things in like R2D2 and your R5 astromechs and stuff like that, and give you things like proton torpedoes and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd say if you're gonna play it, buy the starter set, play a few rounds, see if you like it, and then I would just buy like a ship or 2 a month and just slowly build up your collection, because you do see an incremental increase when you start putting other cards from other ships into it. And the card game behind it is the thing that I love, because it doesn't feel like a tabletop miniature game. What it feels like is very video gamey kind of upgrade system. You've got a ship, you've got your TIE fighter or whatever, and it has upgrades that you can give it, like an astromech, and you can give it like torpedoes or an elite pilot skill or a modification. And the cards that you get in the other ships sometimes are available to use on other ships as well. Like the Y-Wing, for instance, will have, I think it's Push the Limit or something like that. I don't know off the top of my head. Please don't buy the Y-Wing if you want Push the Limit. I'm pretty sure it's in the A-Wing for a start. And that card can be used with that ship or with other ships. So it's like a living card game. You know exactly what cards are in what sets, but you need to go and buy those sets to get those cards, and buying them online is pointless because, seriously, guidance chips, one of the cards that I really, really, really want for one of my setups, £5.49.
No!
For a card. And you're like, you know what? Look, I'm a Magic the Gathering player. I'm not paying £5.49 for a card. No. This is coming from a Magic the Gathering player who will spend £15 on a card if he needs it, kind of thing. But, yeah.
Yeah, but it makes sense when
tabletoping's expensive. Yeah, because the thing is, in Magic, it's like one of those cards. If it's a £15 card, you usually only need one of it.
Yeah.
But it does, or 2 max. But it does open up the deck you want to build. It is like, you need this to make this deck work.
That's usually your win condition.
When you think of like video games, for instance, it's like a video game you'll spend anywhere between like 40 and 50 quid on a video game. It's like that 30 quid that you spend right there is like buying your video game. And then everything else that you build on top of it, you get with everything else anyway. Like lands you get with anything that you buy, some of the more expensive rares you generally get in boosters that you just get in other things for. It's not an expensive game to start, it's an expensive game to make
maintain.
perfect. As with your Christmas presents, I spent very little on your Christmas presents as a kind of point, as like a, let's make you both this awesome deck, for
and it's beastly
for whatever I paid, and they're amazing. And I don't think I certainly haven't lost a game with yours, Joe. Yours has lost like 2 games, but the 2 games it lost, I was like mana screwed, which I'm fine with. I'm like, well, that's when you lose, you mulligan badly.
What's nice is it's still really aggressive with really little guys. It's like, I'm going to chip you for 2. Okay, I'm going to bounce these guys. Hit you for 8. Hit you for 16.
And people are going like, the fuck are you doing?
I'm going to destroy that because that's getting massive. No, you're not. Comes back out, comes back in.
I mean, other than X-Wing, which, I think I'll probably talk more about X-Wing at some point. I think
when we've got a bit more knowledge behind it.
But the meta is very strange because obviously it's an ever-evolving game. But from what we've been playing so far, it's fun. Even when you're losing, you're kind of seeing these strategies and you're like, ooh.
But the thing is, where you're learning, when you're losing, you're still learning how these ships work and how they fly better than Anything else?
There was a couple of times today I just sat there and did something, and I was like, oh, shouldn't have done that with an X-wing, because that's all my list is at the minute. It's 3 X-wings, and apparently it's a good list. People were saying there's nothing wrong with 3 X-wings, it's fine, and I was like, I kind of feel it's bad against this, and it's like, well, of course it's bad against that. It's 3 ships. You need a bigger pool of things before you start saying this is bad against that. And it's like, oh.
When you've got a pool of like what Luke's got, then you can say...
Yeah, I go and say Luke's. The great thing about Luke is he'll sit there and teach you how to play a game as aggressively as he can. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's like mad aggressive.
He pulled out this giant ship and then pulled out these 4 little ships, and he went, right, that's what you're fighting. And I was like, all right, cool. What do they do? Well, these explode when they die, and this will blow you the fuck up if you go anywhere near it. Okay. He was like, I'm going to teach you everything, boy. And it's awesome. Like I say, I love, you know, I didn't mean this to go into a plug, but simply, you know, I do find that Luke will sit there and teach you how to play a game. And not just because he wants to sell you the game, but because he genuinely wants people to
but
be
the thing
able
is,
to play
it's
games.
how he does stuff. It's not for his own gain. It is for the
so
hobby.
good.
It's the hobby.
He is in it for the love. And
Yeah.
That's why I don't have any problem.
Going off subject with that, still going on the X-Wing thing. I've decided I really want to do a TIE bomber and do a
You want to go
ship
with the bombs?
listing.
Yeah, I keep reading them and thinking, I don't want to go Imperial because I love my Rebels too much. You know.
What I like with the Rebels though is they've got the bigger ships, and I like big ships, not little. I'm going to come in and just annoy you.
But you see, the Imperial big ships like the Decimator are arseholes. The Decimator is like the coolest thing. It just sits there hovering around like, yo, what's up? Yeah, not too bad. What are you doing? Killing you.
The thing is, I've not really seen like the bigger ships that the Imperials have, because I've only seen really the ships.
What Imperials do better than anything is they kind of fly around the Rebel ships, and they never let them never let up. Like Luke was showing me today. Honestly, right, like an X-wing can be chasing a TIE fighter. You can be like dead behind it, you know, never letting it move or anything. And then in 2 maneuvers, he managed to move this thing behind me in 1 turn, and I was like, "That's bullshit." And it was like,
because you can turn them on a sixpence. That's what's amazing, to coin the phrase.
And it doesn't even stress the pilot. He just goes, and he's ready to fight. And then you have to kind of fly forward and then Corellian turn, which stresses you. So then you're kind of jousting with it, like at a distance. It's so cool. Like, that's why I like it. There's a lot more. There's the card game element where it's like, oh, does this work? Blah 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 blah. There's the dice roll kind of RNG element, and there's the kind of like the planning, the flying around where you put your asteroids. So good, so good. Really enjoying it. We'll talk more when I know more.
I think it's fun trying to learn how another person plays with how
Yes.
they fly.
Yes.
It's so much fun because it's like, I know you're going to do this.
Sometimes the second they go like, right, so I'm going to fly 4 forward, you immediately in your head say, right, so you're ridiculously aggressive. Okay, I'll turn the ridiculous aggressiveness even up a notch past yours. Right, so I'll just blow past you. Very cool game. Very cool indeed. Not one I want to spend a ridiculous amount of money on. But
No, I want to spend...
one that I probably will think maybe like buy a ship a month, you know.
But it's,
Every so often, drop a tenner on it, buy a ship.
But about Luke again, we had this conversation the other, I think it was on Saturday. It was, okay then, with Magic players, the amount of money that you spend on booster packs, instead of doing that,
buy singles.
buy a ship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to, because as we've said, we're done like with Kaladesh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Aether of Revolt's looking fun.
That does look
I've got to
ace.
say, there's a lot of cards in there that I'm like, okay.
I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I might just go fat pack. I don't
I'm
have to
just
get
going to fat
boosters.
pack it.
I think I'm going to buy a box, but that's it. I think I'm just going to buy the box.
And build something out of the box.
And then just be like, sticking commander what I want the sticking commander from Aether Revolt, because a lot want a sticking commander from Aether Revolt. And then I think past that, I'll probably sell the rares on and buy rares that I want instead of maybe buying a lot of boosters. It's not one that I'm looking to go standard with.
As Jared said, it seems to be very much a filler thing to iron out the problems that we're in.
Yeah, we
Kaladesh.
definitely need to see some energy burning mechanics.
Because I've said to you,
Energy's
and it's
crazy.
ridiculous, especially with your Aether Squall Ancient. It's like as soon as that comes
It
out, and
creates
you've
8
got
energy
energy.
every turn, and you're like, oh well, you
I
can't
can't
do
win.
anything. This perpetually knocks things back. I mean,
And we
it
did
is
that
a
when
six-mana
when we
card,
played
but-
a 3-way game of it, and I got up to near enough 400 life,
we
and there's
got-
nothing I could.
We got to the point where you were basically like, right, so yeah, you're playing 3 creatures a turn. That thing is getting an extra this, that, and the other a turn. So eventually, you're going to kill me, and I know I've played all my Skywhaler shots. So
Yeah.
GG, kind of thing. Yeah, it's a bit of a strange. I don't like my stall deck, but at the same time, I love playing it against people who annoy me. So.
It's
Oh,
fun.
you want to play Magic with me? Oh, okay then. Yeah, I'm just going to make you never want to play Magic with me.
That's kind of how I made Chris feel when I played my Christmas present. It was like,
Oh yeah.
can't really do anything.
You guys enjoying your Christmas?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Because that is playing it more. I know how to play it now, and it's like this is a job.
You need to put more creatures in yours.
I need to put more creatures, and I actually need to like.
Take the counter spells out of it, put Mausoleum Wanderers in it, it's fine.
I'm still. Well, Joe saw how excited I got when I finally beat that deck because I'd not beat that deck
Good deck's a beast.
at all.
It's pretty balanced, you just a few rares here and there, but it's pretty good.
It's just annoying the whole hexproof. It's just like my abilities won't
Oh, the
work.
Sphinxes, it's like,
Yeah.
fuck off. Do it.
Let's just hope I build a big enough board state to actually do enough damage to you within 3 turns.
What have you been doing this week?
What have I been doing? Not really been playing games, just watching stuff and playing. Well, games are such as tabletop, but mainly just watching.
And obviously we had Friday where Mr. Selfie here was taking loads of selfies.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the selfie.
Selfie
Supreme.
King.
Selfie Supreme.
Selfie Supreme.
Bless him, he tried to plug the podcast and we just kept...
But it looks so miserable. It's like I'm here at the thing taking pictures, and he's like, "Moo."
It's like, what are you doing?
Your face like a wet weekend.
It's like, come on, go play games. And you're like, oh, yeah. And his face picked up when he started playing games. Just, you point a camera at him and he kind of pulls this super serious face. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
it's because I have the worst smile in the galaxy.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You've seen a Rancor. Ridiculous.
It's not that bad.
So what have you been playing?
What have I been playing?
Yeah.
Been playing X-Wing. Been really looking forward to playing D&D because I missed it at the weekend.
Oh, yeah, and then we didn't play D.
Yeah, and I got really excited for that.
Yeah, I know. But, you know, like...
Been playing that, and then I'm going to go back to the good old favourite, which you guys don't want to hear.
VH. The thing that you're not allowed to talk.
Yeah, playing Vandalheart and playing it differently to how I've watched people use playthroughs on it.
You have 10 minutes.
No, I'm not gonna say any more on it because we'll do something under
We'll
point.
do an episode where
And we
literally
need to
just
do a
gush.
playthrough. We've both said we'll have
But
to do a play.
I need to do a playthrough of... Oh, we should do it together. We should do me playing Vandal Hearts while you sit there getting angry when I don't get stuff. And same with like other games. Like we should just swap. We should have the person's favorite, like the person whose favorite game it is, sit there and like watch the other person fail at their favorite game because that's got to be rage inducing.
All I have to say is when people who are playing Vandalheart, if you think you need to heal,
Heal.
you heal. It's like I've only took 7 damage.
If I think I need to heal, I'm never going to heal. I'm just going to die, and I'm just going to be like, "No, this game's crap."
Yeah.
just to watch your face get angrier and angrier as I'm totally taking it.
And the thing is, you're still.
I'm going to play it purposely wrong.
But the thing is, you'll complete it and you'll be like, why can't I buy any of these items? Because every time your characters die, out of that, say you made 15,000 in it, for every character you lose gold, like 1,000 gold for each character you lose. So it's like, you could end up with 10k, you could lose 5k just straight out.
What genre is Vandal Hearts? Is it an RPG?
It's an tactics RPG.
Is it like Fire Emblem where you've got like permadeath for your characters and stuff?
There's no permadeath, which
No
is great.
permadeath.
Okay,
play-
you lose the 1,000 gold
Yeah.
at the end, but you get your characters back. But the only problem is, if your characters die, they gain no more experience. So you have to do actions whilst you fight, or use items, or magic to gain experience.
You played FF Tactics, right?
Yeah.
It's basically that, but not.
Why Ramses in my decks? Because
Yeah.
Ramses dope.
There's characters in it, if you're not careful, become seriously under-leveled, and you can't do squat. Like, the main character you play is Ash Lambert.
You do make it intriguing. You know what I'm like with my
Yeah.
roguelike mechanics.
He's the main character. There's in each mission there's just one defeat clause. normally, and that's if Ash dies.
Yeah.
If Ash dies, that's it. Game over. You start again.
Okay.
Or in certain missions, there's a mission that Joe knows that I really don't like, and will play
God, yeah.
without the sound on because
The music alone sends him up the fucking wall.
Yeah, you're in like you get off the boat and you come to a village, and the village is
No, don't spoil nothing. That's cool. It sounds.
No, it is pretty early in the game.
This sounds like a game I want to play.
It's early,
straight up.
and the village has been taken over by these demonic statues that have possessed them all, and you've got to run around these guys destroying the statues.
While you're getting hit by the people.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you get hit, you automatically have a counterattack.
And you basically just one-shot everything.
And the defeat clause in that is if Ash dies or you kill all the villagers.
Oh.
And they all
you've got to
hunt you down in these
yeah.
very tight corridors. Literally, it's just a figure 8.
Yeah.
See, that would
Village.
annoy me because you'd just be like, well, hang on, why are you counter-attacking? Just don't counter-attack. No, kill everything.
But it's a mechanic in it where you counterattack.
It's like the game knows it's there, and it's just like, no, do you know what? This mission just.
And they
fuck
also
you.
have the Fire Emblem thing of like spear beats sword, axe beats
Yeah.
spear.
Oh, right, there's the
So
kind
you've
of
got your Hawk
rock,
Knights, your
paper,
There's the rock,
archers.
paper, scissors class thing.
Cool.
Like you'd think with your heavy armoured guys, it's like they take double damage against
So
magic.
again, like tactics, if you've played tactics, then you know what you're getting into.
Cool.
It is politics out the wazoo.
Oh,
It is brilliant for horrible politics in games. That is it. Right, I've had enough now. I'm not
Alright,
saying
cool. Well, that's what we've been doing this week. So, again, we'll move on to a viewer question. If you want to send us questions, and
Please send questions.
send us questions. It's like, come on, just
We know
ask us
loads of
anything.
people, and like 20 odd people have looked at it and not.
It's like, just send us a question. Anything. It doesn't even need to be particularly poignant. It
We'll
just
even
needs to
do
be a
an
good
agony
question.
aunt section.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You know, my mate Mick looks at other women. You know, what should I do? I don't care. Ask us questions. Anyway, so first question we're taking today is from Sophie, who says, because I figured this would get a quick bit of a rise out of you both. Favourite Star Trek?
Oh god, this is going to get angry.
Yay! This is going to be amazing.
This
So,
is gonna
so
be
for a
angry.
nerd podcast, like, I mean, it's surprising this question hasn't come up yet. So,
Pretty apt.
favorite Star Trek?
You're both looking at me, and I probably best start. The most popular one, Next Gen, which
Nothing wrong with liking Next Gen. Nothing
Next
wrong with
Gen's
it being
good.
a favourite.
Exactly.
yeah, but we all know why it's good. It's after the whole goofiness of the original series, and then got enough serious for the rest of the other series
The
to
thing
like
I
take
have with
reference
Next
from.
Generation, right, is it just me that you watch Star Trek, right, with Shatner and that lot, and I'm not a big Shatner fan.
I don't like Shatner.
Do you know what I mean? I'm a big Nimoy fan. I'm like,
Yeah.
Leonard Nimoy needs to be in everything. I mean, he can't be now, rest his soul, but like, you
God
know,
love him.
Rest in peace.
There's this book at work, and it's called Leonard, and it's basically Shatner's memoirs of him being friends with Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, wow.
And do you know what?
What?
The only thing I could think about is that would be like Churchill writing a fucking book about Hitler. They hated each other. Hated each other. You're like that's like somebody writing a book about me and being like, well, I really did like him, and it's quite heartfelt. I mean, you know, not that I read the books at work, but I read the books at work. I was reading it, and I was like, it was quite heartfelt, and it was full of, but you could tell there was no sincerity to it. Because, like, I know full well that, you know, like when a lot of the minority roles, like Uhura and
Well, she was like the first. Like,
Chekhov.
oh right.
He's my favourite thing about the original
Oh yeah, definitely.
original
Oh,
Star Trek.
yeah.
But it's like, you know, Uhura and obviously Sulu, you know, George Takei and that lot, you know.
Well, she was like one of the first leading black ladies to actually appear on television.
They were being paid a lot less than like Shatner and Nimoy. And Nimoy took pay cuts. Nimoy said, well, look, why don't you pay them, you know, equally? You know, they're equally part of the show. People like Sulu, because obviously the three main characters, as according to the title screen, is obviously James T. Kirk, Spock, and Dr. Is it Dr. McCoy?
Yeah.
Dr. McCoy.
My brain just stopped then. And obviously, they were the three title
Yeah,
They were the 3 lead roles, and they were saying like, well, you know, Sulu and that lot, you know, they're named characters and they're really, really popular. So Nimoy took pay cuts. Apparently, he took pay cuts, but apparently Shatner was the one kind of sitting there saying like, well, the pay cuts should be in place. I'm the main guy. Blah 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 blah.
But Shatner's a dick.
I've never been a fan of Shatner.
No,
Gotta
nor
be
have
fair. I like James T. Kirk as a character,
But
like,
it's Shatner.
but is Shatner playing it? It's like, if it had been the other way around, if Nimoy had been playing, well, I don't think Nimoy would.
No, I don't think
Am I the
Nimoy
only
would have
one
been a
that,
good
like,
Shatner.
I like Shatner as the entity that it is.
Yeah,
Like you like
the idea of Shatner is almost quite endearing.
I mean, do you remember what
Yeah,
he did?
yeah.
Remember when he did that advert for World of Warcraft?
yes,
And you
That
just
was,
like
I like that advert.
yeah, probably because it was Shatner playing the character of Shatner.
yeah.
The Shatner, the
There's
entity
a
that is
character
Shatner.
of Shatner, and then there's the actual kind of real life kind of, oh, you're actually Shatner.
You're
Yeah,
actually a dick.
Whereas a lot of things that I've heard about, I mean, obviously I've never met Leonard Nimoy, but a lot of things I heard about Leonard Nimoy was like, you know, he was really, really friggin' humble. He was like one of the most humble guys on the planet, and actually a very, very good actor, despite obviously playing a guy with no emotions. You know, he was very, very good.
But what made him make?
I mean,
Wait,
it's funny, like, you know, is it? What's it called? You know, the second J.J. Abrams Star Trek film.
Oh, Into Darkness.
yes.
Nimoy's amazing in that.
Yeah.
He is. Oh no, he's in the first one.
Yeah.
He was
Oh,
in
he's in
both.
both.
Yeah.
He's in both.
He's in the
He's
first.
so good in both of them. Like both of them, you sit there watching him, like, oh, Zachary Quinto, you wish you could be him.
Yeah.
But then again, Zachary Quinto is an amazing Spock. I like the new films. I know a lot of people.
I do.
A lot of people don't like them. I mean, the first Star Trek was brilliant. Into Darkness, I just ate that shit up. I was not even because like
I love it.
not even because Burn the Cucumber Batch was in it.
No,
Right.
but you know why I love it.
Yeah, I know why you love it. I mean, I liked the first one.
Has anyone
the
watched?
second one.
Has anyone watched the new one?
I've not watched Beyond
I
yet.
haven't
No.
watched Beyond yet.
It's like one long episode of the original Star Trek without all the jank. It's so fucking
because
good.
I liked the first one. The first one I thought was friggin' amazing. The second one,
The laser show at the start
Oh,
with all the
God.
phasers. That was like spaff.
I was watching it like,
Spaff.
oh, Star Wars, mate, you have got to... Because obviously Force Awakens was kind of already being hinted, and I was like, you have got to match that. And I don't think there was a point where they did.
Not with a
I'm
space
gonna say
battle
this.
like that.
I'm not going to sit here and say I like Star Trek more than Star Wars, because I'd be lying. if it's a toss-up between Trek and Wars, I'm Wars all day, I'm sorry. I love Star Wars. Sorry, Roy. But, you know... At the same time,
I'm going to go now, Dad. I love Star Trek more. Honest.
I love Star Trek. Absolutely love.
And I still want to play the X-Wing equivalent of Star Wars
Yeah.
Star Trek.
I love them almost both equally, to be fair. But Star Wars just keeps. I mean, I've got Rebels, so you've just lent me Rebels.
Yeah,
and I do feel that's going to tip it over. But,
Star Trek has better space battles than Star Wars.
of course, God,
Massively
hands
better.
down, hands down, hands down. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at fucking Star Wars. Oh yeah, you get chased by a space one.
And I mean, when we talk about Star Wars, obviously there are only 4 films, so
Yeah.
it's not even. It's just not. So Star Trek, obviously. So Next Generation.
Mine is Next
for
Gen,
you.
just mainly because it's one of the few Star Treks that actually, you know, kept me watching episode after episode.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And
Definitely.
it was also one of the ones with
Even the filler episodes were
even
good.
the filler episodes were
Yeah.
good.
Is it just me? Season 2, did they go a bit data heavy?
It was
Yes.
very
Season
yeah.
2 felt very much like, and here's an episode with data in it, and I love data. Like, don't you know?
But I found some of them episodes tedious.
So tedious.
Oh, Christ.
Data is Sherlock Holmes. Oh, fuck's
What was the name of that
sake.
one episode where they went to the planet where it was peaceful as fuck, but if you broke one rule, it was instant death?
Oh, that was in season 1.
Was that in season 1? I thought that was season 2.
Was it?
I can't remember.
Yeah, and Wesley broke he like break something. And
Yeah,
so, like,
I mean that episode is one of the most annoying episodes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's a Wesley episode, and I fucking hate Wesley.
the thing I hate most about that episode is just like at no point does Patrick Stewart just go, "All right, look, I'm not letting one of my crew die. Give us him back, or I'm going to glass your planet." because I'm in a fucking Star Cruiser and I will glass your planet. Like that. Call me cynic. Call me, I don't know. Call me blasphemous. It did need a hint of 40k in there. Just, do you know what I mean? Just okay, really? Exterminatus, piss off.
Purge the unclean.
What? Sorry? Oh, you're adhering to all our demands. It's like I get the whole,
The closest thing we had to that was the Borg.
Yeah,
Exterminatus.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I just feel like Star Trek. Sorry, Star Trek has this sort of what's it called? It's the rules that they have to follow. The help.
Oh, the
Galactic-
Federation something
Can't remember
agreement.
the name.
I can't even
I can't remember.
I
It's
can't even remember the rules. of
basically like
Federation.
don't share your technology with people. Blah 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 blah. God's
Yeah.
sakes! How does something that simple
I know, right?
escape me?
It's like
It's because we've actually just gone, we're going to talk about Star Trek, and we're like, yeah, we can do
We never
this.
really planned for it.
No.
did we? The problem is, like, I don't remember any of the actors. I just remember loving Star Trek and just sitting there watching it like, woo,
Well,
like
yeah,
all the way
maybe
through
because
and never remembering anybody's names.
we all grew up with it being on telly. As soon as we came home from school or something, it'll be like
Yeah.
Star Trek, then Simpsons sort of things.
And you just watch it.
And you just there sat in bliss sort of thing.
Called the Galactic
Oh.
something? Because they're the United Federation of Planets.
Mhm.
And let's just move on.
Move
while-
on, because
while-
it's going to do my head in.
Yeah, because seriously, that is.
Whatever. The point is, like, at no point do they just turn around and say, all right, look, we did want a peaceful treaty with this planet, but I have hyper advanced laser weaponry and torpedoes. Tell you what, give us our crew back. We'll call it a misnomer. If you guys feel so bad that you don't want to give us any dilithium crystals, that's up to you. But we might be back to fight you for them later. Fuck off.
But that was like the episode which had like the most contradictory. Because if it was any other episode, Picard would have done it.
Picard would have just glassed them.
Yeah, but that was the one episode where he didn't. He was like, okay, who wrote this episode? Really?
And let's be fair, it was Wesley. I mean, apart from annoying Beverly,
Yeah.
who, to be fair, childhood crush. Me and redheads. Just
Yeah, Bev. Bev over. Who was the doctor who replaced her?
oh God knows. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Who cares?
That
No.
That massive curly hair.
Diana Troy.
Now you see, I don't like her.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Just
I'm sensing that there's
Why-
some hostilities. Yes, he's pointing a fucking gun at you.
I'm sensing hostility from this ship. It's the fucking Klingons. What? Of course you are. They're Klingons. Oh, I'm detecting some anger from over there. Yeah, he's just stubbed his toe. Shut up. We don't need an empath. You don't need an empath. It's so easy to kind of say, I detected a lot of, and this is the thing that gets me, right? It's like these starships are sitting like, I don't know, they've got to be miles away from each other, surely. Like, if you think about, like, a starship with a crew of, like, 500, 600 people, next to another starship, and they're that far away, they've got to be, like, miles away from each other, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be, like, from here to at least, like, where I work, right?
No, that'd be even further.
Probably further.
It would be that when you think of how big the ships are.
And then they
Yeah.
communicate with each other. And Deanna Troy's all like, I can sense what that man is thinking. Piss off! No, you can't! There's no way! You're miles away! That's like me going, I think my dad's hungry. He lives in Leicester! How would you know? Do you know what I mean? Fuck me. No, Deanna Troy pisses me off.
Yeah, Deanna Troy.
I like her.
Oh,
She's hot, but she pisses me off something chronic. And the whole her and Riker thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, they totally allude to it. They go like, oh, Riker and Diana Troy have this thing.
then they
Let's
never go
never
into
explain that. Oh, she's going out with Worf now. What? Just fuck off. Again, very, very, very Star Trek-esque in the way it deals with. Also, like, at the end of season 1, when the security officer obviously dies, could anybody have given less of a fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry if anybody likes her. She was cool, but I was like, and?
But they alluded again. They alluded
then
to a backstory
she's
to
in
her.
DS9,
And then
isn't she? She shows up in one of the other Star Treks as a fucking ensign, and you're sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, casting department, excuse me. Oh, I don't know. It's just like, I just feel that the Next Generation had a lot going for it. I do love it. But the things that kind of... Patrick Stewart is a Shakespearean trained actor.
Yeah.
And he's like talking to aliens. I could only imagine the look on his face if they'd have approached him when making the original Star Trek and been like, hey, we need somebody to be a starship captain. Well, yes, this sounds like an excellent part for me. I could be a captain and wear a big hat and sail the seven seas. No, space captain. Oh, okay, well, I could be a suave and sophisticated. You'll be talking to worm people.
Oh no, I have a counterproductive.
And occasionally, you'll be picking up a dog that has like a horn stuck on its head, and you'll have to pretend it's an alien. Okay, I'm going to go and do my third try at Hamlet, and you can come back when... Come, Sir Ian McKellen, we're leaving.
Yeah.
You shall not pass. And leave! Fuck off!
Counter-comment. Fucking Liam Neeson had to talk to nothing in Star Wars Episode 1. Awesome actor that Liam Neeson is.
Okay,
had to talk to an invisible
But I'm
flying
pretty
thing.
sure we mentioned there's only 4 fucking Star Wars films, and I don't remember Liam Neeson being in any of the Star Wars films.
No, not.
I mean, there was
There was a small
there was
clip
Star
show
Wars.
where-
There was Star Wars. I mean, did he play Darth Vader? I don't remember Liam Neeson being in anything.
I can remember Liam Neeson being in something like that, sci-fi-esque, and that was Krull.
Oh yeah.
And I love Krull. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's because it's Krull.
All right, Liam Neeson wasn't that bad. Liam Neeson was the only thing going for Episode 1. It's the only reason I'll even talk about its existence.
Because
at all.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, but obviously
Did
we were
die.
talking about like.
That was really horrible, though.
I know, but it's like, oh, Liam Neeson's in this film. Oh, he's gone this far without dying. Oh, for fuck's sake!
You know why that was? Because he didn't have the high ground.
It's in his contract.
He didn't have the high ground.
Yeah, but again, like Obi-Wan Kenobi didn't have the high ground in that fight, and it stabs him, and you're like, okay, what?
Cuts him in half.
Cuts him in half, doesn't it?
Cuts them in half. Right, back to Star Trek.
Talking about fucking bad guys getting punked. Fuck me. Yes, sorry, Star
Back to
Trek.
Yes, Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Not Star
Not
Wars.
Star Wars, Josh. Jesus.
Yeah, we don't.
God!
We don't want to start
Oh,
any
to be fair,
debates between fans.
It was Joe that started it. so-
Yeah, you douchebag.
No, I wanted to do a counter fucking comment to the whole Shakespearean actor has to talk to aliens.
Yes,
thing.
it's a bit strange. Your favourite Star Trek?
As much as I want to say it's Generations,
Is it Generations? I'll go TV1. I ain't bothered.
no, because I remember watching Voyager with my dad.
Mm.
So that's definitely there.
Okay.
Shortly followed by DS9.
DS9. Okay.
And I know a lot of people not really a big fan of DS9.
Not a big fan of Benjamin Sisko. Huge fan of Deep Space Nine, though. Huge fan.
Cisco is probably, I think, the weakest
He's the
part
weakest thing in
in
it.
DS9. It's horrible. The other cast is just like phenomenal.
Hi, I'm Benjamin Sisko, and I'm going to talk like this for the entire
It's
thing.
real. No, just go away, Cisco. No one likes you, Cisco. No one likes your son either. Go take your sailboat that flies in space with sails.
Jake.
Go away.
Jake, the
I
new
kind
Wesley
of like
Crusher.
Cisco.
You suck.
Yeah.
This is why you're not allowed nice things.
This is why I'm not allowed nice things, because I like Cisco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sisko, I don't hate him anywhere near as you do, but I felt he was the weakest part. I kind of felt like when you were watching Deep Space Nine, you were watching O'Brien, you were watching Worf, you were watching Dax, you were watching not Neelix, what's it called? Quark, thank you. You were watching them. Cisco would just come along just to remind you that these places need a guy in a red shirt leading it.
Yeah.
And that was
See,
it.
with him, all I could see is like the fact that, you had all these great characters, you had all these great situations going on.
Odo. How did you forget about him?
Obviously,
See, Odo is my least favourite thing.
I think it was cool.
He just comes out and he's just angry and everything.
But that's what makes him brilliant.
Now I need to be jelly. Blah, 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 blah.
But the thing is, he's so gung ho all the time,
Odo.
and he's like on the security
I
team.
do love how bad Cop he is. When he's just sitting there and he knows Quark has done something. Quark's like, nah, I haven't done anything. And he just comes in and he goes, Quark, you're a prick, and I know you've done something. I'm going to go be jelly, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Odo bores me. He bores me as a character because he never seems to develop.
Yeah, he didn't.
Yeah, but when he's doing bad cop, he's
their,
amazing.
He was their attempt at date, like every single Star Trek that obviously has come on since then. This is a fun thing about the Next Generation. No Vulcans on the ship, which I thought was really weird because like the Vulcan was the biggest part, but then they put an android on the ship to obviously take that role almost.
Well, the fact that they had a Klingon on the ship as well.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I like Worf. I think Worf is one of the genuinely brilliant characters, but.
Worf's just badass.
Yeah,
They didn't have a Vulcan to be on Deep Space. I mean, they did, but good luck trying to get me to remember his fucking name. It's like, oh, who was he? I don't know. He was always there and he was never named.
Yeah.
Just blue shirt Vulcan in the background. That was always just like, I'm going to say something Vulcan. Yeah, shut up, not Spock. That's it. That's all he ever did.
Shut up, non-Spock.
Non-Spock. But Odo really just took the kind of, non-feeling race bit, but then actually got angry all the time, so he kind of didn't. It was really weird. I thought it was cool having Ferengi on the station as kind of
they're one of my most hated races.
I love
The Ferengi are brilliant.
I fucking hate those.
God.
Those deceitful
Just profit-driven, giant ear. I love them. I love them
hate
so
them.
much. Do you know what I love about them? Is that as long as you've got gold press platinum, you're fine. Yeah, don't come in my shop. You stabbed my daughter the other day. Here's some gold press platinum. Yeah, okay, you can.
Everything's fine now.
It's fine. It's that guy that I can't stand. Like, Quark's cool, and then his brother.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake! Can we just
And then later on, they put his sons in it.
You
and
guys know,
everything.
like in D&D, like I love my goblins. Like my goblins are my favourite thing because they're just a warrior race ready to evolve. Do you know what I mean? They love Maglubiet, and if they could just get under from that Maglubiet kind of dying and serving in his army for all eternity, and actually just occasionally pulled their punches, they'd be fine, but they never do. They're just stupid. And I love goblins. I love sub races. I do. Kobolds, just brilliant. But yeah,
you like this.
trying to get back on topic. Why not? The problem I have is just that, like Deep Space Nine, I love the Cardassians,
Because the Cardassians are badass.
but they are the biggest example of power creep in anything, anything ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, for those who don't know what power creep is, it's a gaming term where the meta state of a game is sat there, and you want to kind of make something a bit more powerful than that, so you create a more powerful thing, and you keep making more powerful things, and then you forget that the least powerful things are least powerful, and you go, oh shit, we forgot about them. Basically Klingons. Because, like, the Cardassians come along, right? They're as ruthless as fucking Romulans. They're better armed than Klingons. They've got stealth ships, and they're, like, charismatic as fuck. You're like, I'm sorry, is there anything these guys don't do? Oh, listen to us. Oh, right. Okay. So they're just, like, the generic best bad guy. It's just like, hi, we're Cardassians. Fuck you guys. I love Cardassians. I love the whole... I still don't like the Star Trek naming functions of being like, oh, the Klingons come from Klingon. And all the Vulcans come from
Vulcan.
and all the Romulans come from
Romulus.
And you're like, so why are we not just all, well, I guess we are Earthlings, I guess. That's what we're referred to as in Star Trek. As long as we're white and Shatner. Getting paid the right amount.
More than other people that are better actors than me.
Fuck you, Shatner. I like Deep Space Nine because the stories are better. The story arcs of Deep Space Nine are just so much better than
like
just
I said, like
any
the story, the progression of characters, the political intrigue.
The original Star Trek was just blow by blow, nothing really followed on.
It was like standalone stuff.
Next Generation had the odd thing that would kind of bleed into other things, Q, these kind of things that just kind of came in and out of the
you know, the universe, and you were like, oh yeah, there's that thing. Oh, okay, cool, yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg, yeah.
Whoopi
She was
Goldberg.
amazing. How the fuck did they afford her? Because she was like an A-list at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, because
Jesus.
Sister Act would have been out at that
Yeah.
time, so yeah, she would have been quite high up.
She must have been quite high paid. But yeah, like I say, it's
More than Shatner.
I fucking hope so.
Just Shatner would still
Just
be
as a point, because she's a black female, I hope she was paid more than Shatner. Just as a finger to Shatner. Hey, Shatner, she got paid $2 more an hour than you did. And do you know what? We'd pay it again. Nah, fuck Shatner. Nah, fuck him.
What a
He's
dick.
absolute dickhead. Okay, so Deep Space Nine for you.
Mm-hmm.
Next Generation for you.
Next gen.
Let's start some arguments. Voyager. That's mine.
I did say I like Voyager.
Catherine Janeway's a boss.
No.
Catherine
No,
Janeway's
she
a
is.
Catherine Janeway's a
No.
boss. Yes, she is.
No.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you say why you don't like Voyager, and then I'm going to say that you're wrong. Go.
See,
You're wrong.
fuck off.
Carry on, go on.
See, like, with Deep Space Nine and some of the other ones, they went into the whole political intrigue. They started getting a little bit more serious. They actually became the space drama, space opera that it was meant to be.
Okay.
Your one just didn't. It felt like it was being too serious. That it was taking itself far too seriously.
Jeez, it's like they're surviving in space with no help from the United Federation
Oh,
of
I'm sorry.
Planets.
If I
yeah,
wanted
they were plumbing
realism,
for 4 episodes.
if I wanted realism, I'd go watch fucking Stargate or something.
Are you bagging on Stargate?
No, I
Are
love
we bagging on
Stargate.
Stargate?
No. If I wanted fucking realism,
Hold on,
I'd
hold
go
on, hold on,
watch-
hold on. This is Star Trek,
Yeah.
not Stargate.
Okay.
Or
so-
Star Wars.
Hence why I like
Star
the
Trek.
jankiness of Next Gen. Because
So-
it was halfway after fucking Shatner's fuckfest
Yeah.
and the seriousness that is fucking Deep Space Nine and Voyager.
I felt Voyager had something that the others just didn't have, and it was just that sense
What,
of
likeable characters?
sense of actual threat.
Yeah.
There was never a point in the Next Generation where I was like, wow, I hope Picard doesn't die, or oh, I hope Riker doesn't die. Voyager just felt like, I kind of feel like this is Game of Thrones Star Trek edition. Any fucker could die, and they did a lot of like
A lot of likable
the
cast
name
died.
Casquez dies so quick, and you're like, the fuck are you doing? And she becomes this all powerful. There's that episode where she can't control the powers, and she's like killing people on the ship, and you're like, oh, Keslov, what's wrong with you? You know, Tuvok goes mental. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, another fine. They brought in another half Falcon. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, Tuvok's kind of weak in my opinion.
Hello, not Spock.
But B'Elanna Torres, argue me that she's not one of the greatest characters in anything.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, half Klingon trying to deal with her rage and her power and trying to be emotional with people. Tom Paris not being one of the most fucking likable people ever. He's Han Solo, for fuck's sake. He's literally Han Solo. They pick him up from a resistance movement. He was flying ships and being this ace pilot and just learned to fucking do a spacecraft. It was amazing. I wasn't throwing that at you. It just kind of flicked onto my face and I needed it out of my face. I love it. The only thing I will say, I'll give you this, is that it has some of the most unlikable characters. Chakotay. What? Sorry, hate him. With a passion. Okay, look. Let me rationalise it.
Okay.
The problem with Chakotay is that every other number one on the other ships had a bit of a bloodthirst to them. You know, Picard would be sitting there going, we should open communications and maybe have an intelligent conversation. And Riker would be like, blow them out with missiles! Woo! Got a bid! And would run off. You know, and you'd be like, goodbye! You know, in the original Star Trek, Kirk was the one with the bloodlust and Nimoy would just appear and be like, Shatner, no. And he'd be like, Shatner, yes. Hit the button.
And then McCoy's there going, God damn it, every fucking time.
I never felt like there was a moment where Chakotay became a character I could deal with. There was one episode where they were literally just Chakotay lucid dreaming. And I was like, really?
I like Chakotay. I think he's cool.
But the Doctor,
The Doctor's
the
just...
emergency medical hologram, is just... You say there's no serious... You say, oh, it's too serious. Oh, there's no jokey bits. there's a hologram that keeps forgetting he's a hologram, and he keeps going really mental because he's not supposed to be on for that long. Because the original, like, he's the emergency medical hologram.
He's not the actual.
The medic died, like, in episode 2, and the emergency medical hologram had to be left on all the time. And he starts, like, learning, like, to play music and stuff like that. And he just turns...
Learns to do.
I agree. Here's what I will agree with. Voyager's bad characters. Voyager's, I mean, come on, 7 of 9, I think should instantly make it win. I mean, the episode where she fights Worf.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Oh my god, I could watch that. I could watch it over and over again. So fucking good.
And be the hottest Borg that's ever walked ever in the history of ever.
It's not really hard considering the Borg Queen is the only other female Borg I can think of.
No, but still.
And you wouldn't tap that. Not even if you were dead.
No, but you know what I mean? It's like, oh my sweet baby Jesus.
Robots.
I'm not going to say... Okay, here's what I would say. I have this 7 out of 10 thing. I've always spoke about the 7 out of 10. I admit wholeheartedly that Deep Space Nine is probably the better Star Trek. I admit that The Next Generation is probably the most relatable Star Trek because it's still Star Trek. It's still got its tongue in its cheek occasionally, and it takes it out occasionally when it needs to make a serious point about life. Voyager just felt like they were doing something different for once. They were actually going, yo. And I mean, sorry, what is it, Species 749? It's so
742.
good! 742, is it?
I think so.
That whole, I mean, power creep, again, fine. You know, the Borg are just arseholes in Voyager to the point where Janeway, like, flat out, like, racistly hates them. Which I love.
8472, yeah.
She goes back in time to kill herself to stop. Oh, so good. I love Captain Janeway. Absolutely one of my favourite captains ever. Sorry, she just is. Chakotay sucks. But I just kind of feel like the good characters in it, like B'Elanna Torres, Tom Paris, the emergency medical hologram, 7 of 9, occasionally Tuvok, he has his moments. When they shine, and Neelix, for fuck's sakes, when those characters shine, they far outstrip all of the other really unlikable characters.
But that's like literally rare occasions. They were the diamond in the fucking rough.
Yeah, but they
that was
shone
one hell
so
of a rough
fucking brightly.
fucking show. It was a rough show.
I like it. Of course it's rough. It had half the fucking budget.
Do you know what was rough? Enterprise.
Oh god. Now, if we wanted,
But that had a really good start. When they first did the intro, I really liked the intro. I thought it was ace.
I couldn't stand it from the beginning.
Enterprise just needs to disappear.
For a start, the lead actor guy just drove me insane.
He wanted to be called...
The Doctor was a Cardassian, wasn't he?
I think he was.
He looked Cardassian anyway. Drove me balmy. Could not stand it.
You know, he was meant to be called Jeffrey Archer.
Really?
Yeah, they wanted... Yeah.
I can't stand Enterprise. Not because it did anything particularly wrong, but it just... The blue uniforms? Because it was supposed to... Okay, it was supposed to be set before...
It's predating original Star Trek.
Which makes me laugh because obviously the UNCC 170 is like the prototype and first of its kind, yada yada yada. It's not the first Enterprise, but it's like the first intergalactic cruiser class Enterprise, so far as I remember anyway. I could be remembering completely
I think
wrong.
it was literally the first of the cruiser class.
They made a point of it being the biggest, the best, the baddest kind of ship that they created. And then in Enterprise, I just felt like the starting music can fuck off.
Yeah.
I like
I'm flying on the winter surfing in the sky singing. Oh, yeah. It's like,
Do not put it on. I will fight you.
Don't.
I'm not putting it
I
on.
will fucking fight you.
But secondly, it's like, I just felt there was no moment. Again, it like you were saying about Voyager kind of being a bit too serious, which I agree with. Enterprise never took its tongue out of its cheek.
No.
It's at their tongue firmly in mouth talking about crap. Like it was literally life or death, and I couldn't be bothered with it. And the fact that they had a Cardassian doctor, I mean, I don't know if he was a Cardassian doctor. I've seen pictures of him. He looks very much Cardassian. Considering they didn't discover Cardassia, Cardassia. Again! A fucking naming thing. They didn't find Cardassians. for ages, and then there's one in fucking Enterprise. It's
Yeah.
like, ugh, couldn't stand Enterprise.
It was so contradictory.
However, I will go on record as saying I haven't watched it, but only because I watched the first 2 episodes, nearly threw up in my mouth. I went, nah, fuck it. Just fuck it. And every odd-numbered Star Trek movie is crap.
Yes.
Yeah.
So said Simon Pegg, and let's be fair. He directed. Did he write it or direct it? Someone said he wrote
He either
it.
wrote or directed
The new
Beyond,
film,
yeah.
which is why Beyond is amazing and why his character has so many fucking lines. It's so
I want to
good.
see it just because it sounds like it's fucking.
I'll lend it, yeah.
It's spaced, but in.
I'll lend you. It's amazing. It's so good. So fucking good. Okay, well, thanks for the question.
We should really get onto like a topic.
Should we get onto a topic?
I feel like we've already done topic 1.
Yeah,
and that was the
we've
start.
probably already killed like an hour.
We have.
Maybe?
Oh, we've killed an hour.
Lol.
Got another 2.5
Oh.
ish.
Did we want to do 2.5 because it's quite long?
We usually go 3 hours.
Yeah, we usually go 3 hours, and people.
We
usually
aim for
watch it.
3, and people seem to.
But we
watch
normally
it.
have a bit more structure than that.
Fuck structure.
Yeah.
Structure's for assholes.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so thank you very much for the question. Any other questions, send them to jjjapc@outlook.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
.com. Good. I just couldn't remember for a sec there. Or send us them on Facebook, or if, you haven't come out to your parents yet,
Twitter.
send them on Twitter. There's nothing wrong with being gay. Just,
We still think Joe is.
just don't...
Oh, thanks.
Even if you are gay, don't use Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter.
Gay, straight, whatever. Don't
Use Twitter.
It's terrible. Okay, cool.
Bless you, Joe.
Thank you.
Were you trying to not sneeze?
Yeah, I was trying to suppress it so
Your
I don't
eyes
mind.
will fall out of your head if you try.
Yes, they'll just pop
So,
out.
our first topic. What did we say it was on?
Don't even know.
I can't even remember. Bless you.
On Joe sneezing.
Right, so Joe sneezing. It was tabletop.
That one hurt.
We were going to talk about tabletop sort of in general. I think we're going to sort of talk about D&D more than anything, and sort of talk about D&D and the idea of tabletop role-play games.
Oh yeah,
and stuff.
role playing in anything and how the how each of them have benefited from the other sort of thing.
Yeah.
Differences, comparable stuff. Some
So anybody who's been
non-comparable.
paying attention obviously knows that I play D&D with these two on
What are you on about?
Saturdays
I never
with four
play.
of it. You never play?
No.
You
No,
should
never
do it.
play.
It's quite good.
No, because when I want to play, it's like, oh no, we can't.
Oh, shut up. My sister went to a pantomime. Deal with it. Basically, I've got my sister, my wife, I've got these two Muppets.
Yeah,
and then
Muppets.
2 other friends of ours who basically, we play D&D just about every Saturday, just not up till Christmas, because obviously Christmas is fucking crazy.
Yes, it is.
So we've been playing D&D 5th edition.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd talk about 5th edition just like as a format, what we think about it, some of the changes that are coming up, because I know Druids are getting a bit of an overhaul soon. So said you.
Yes.
I hadn't heard about it.
Yeah, I saw it on
That
Geek
shows-
and
that shows how
Sundry
much-
about it.
Shows how much I catch up, really. How do you guys feel it fares up? Because you guys play Quest, don't you?
Yeah, me and Joe play Warhammer Quest with our
Quest.
friend Spin.
It's played a couple of sessions of 4th edition, I think.
I mean, I've played 3.5. I've played a bit of 4th, 5th, and then that's really all the role playing I've done. Played a bit of Pathfinder, but nothing crazy. Nothing enough to kind of give a definitive answer on which one I prefer. But yeah, I mean, how do you feel it compares to things? Because Warhammer Quest is something I've heard of it, obviously, because I've used some of the miniatures, but like
the
how you
Hero
feel.
Quest / Warhammer Quest.
Yeah.
We feel like when it came to combat, it was a bit more roleplay. Like I was playing a ranger, and I think we were in a cave at some point, and I wanted to aim for some stalactites.
Mm-hmm.
I know some D&D D&D
Dungeon Masters.
Dungeon Masters. That was the word. You,
Yeah.
one of you bloody people. Some people don't like to do the whole role play. Oh yeah, I want to aim for a stalactite, want it to fall down, sort of thing, because it will involve all manner of sort of.
I feel
Checks.
I don't mind shot calling in my campaigns,
Yeah,
but
you
I
don't
always
mind.
I always feel that it shouldn't have a tactical advantage, because then it kind of overwrites skills later on. It's
Yeah.
kind of confusing.
But with Quest, obviously, you have that option as well. You have the option to role play throughout the entire thing.
But then saying that, it's like with that as well. because in one of the campaigns we had, was playing as a wizard, and you role play like rolling your spells, or like say like if I had ogre strength, I want to use cast the ogre strength on myself to be able to try and move this boulder, or try and force this iron door open.
Okay.
Or I cast levitate on herself so we can like get past, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, as I say, I've done one where I had freeze as a spell, and okay then, I hit what it was, but I wanted to aim for like canisters on the back of these like these Skaven Orbers.
I mean,
And it caused the canisters on one to explode,
Yeah.
that then moved on to another one, causing a massive chain reaction.
Okay.
In what happened.
I kind of feel like that's stuff you can do. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and start like being like, but D&D can do that. I'm just thinking like in D&D, like.
But the thing is, it depends on your dungeon master, because some dungeon masters will be like, no, you're not doing that.
If you play, because I think kind of.
Because the older editions
to throw the tagline out before we start explaining how we feel about things, like D&D, if you play it as the bare bones system as is, it's a bit boring.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a bit boring. It's like, oh,
I'm warrior. I walk up. I smash.
That's all it is. It's like
it's like I was going to talk about classes in a bit. We'll do a bit more of a sort of class how they feel kind of thing, because I think most of us have played enough classes to kind of go over all of them. Yeah. I've certainly seen them in action enough to know how I feel about them. But yeah, like your melee classes can feel very kind of walk up, roll d20, abide by dice, walk away kind of thing. You know, I kind of feel like. Because you were saying, obviously, about using your environment and stuff. Like, there are rules about using the environment in the bare bones rules, but they are very bare bones.
They're very... Because they've only just started to adapt them. Because I remember some of the old editions...
I mean, in 3rd edition, it was like, you know, just... 3rd edition felt a bit more combat heavy, but, like, again, using your environment kind of felt a bit more like... I mean, I didn't play enough of it to say definitively. I played as a fighter back in 3.5. And a lot of what I did was run up and piss everything off, and then just stand there with my shield, hoping that my ranger and my wizard would kill everything quick enough that, you know, we'd be fine. Because we only played with 3, and nobody wanted to roll cleric, and I was like, I'll take a point in cleric at some point, and never got round to it. Just sort of stayed there as a fighter, go like, I'm dying, kill things faster. How do you guys feel about it as players? Like, do you feel it's really convoluted sometimes, or do you feel like it's... Because I know we play very homebrew rules. So there's a lot of things that I'll allow you to do that I imagine other game masters would be like, no, it's not. There's no block of text that says that you can attach a rope to an arrow and shoot it and blah 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 blah. Like, I would totally allow shit like that and just not fucked. You know, it's just like, yeah, do it. Let's have some fun. You know, I feel like I'm quite fast and loose with rules sometimes. Like we were talking about with like Last Guardian, you know, sometimes it's like abiding by a rule. If it's not fun, fuck that rule. You know, as long as it's not like integral kind of thing. It's like having a giant thing ignore you 75% of the time because it's a giant monster. Oh, but like your entire progress is kind of based on this giant monster listening to you. To me, that's just kind of like, why would you do that? Like, I'm not bagging on Last Guardian too much, but like to me, to purposely put a bad game design in something, it's still bad game design, no matter how justified it is.
Yeah, even like how much character you want to build into this.
I'm just wondering how you guys feel coming at it as players in 5.5. Or in 5 even.
5, I'm... For anyone who's bought this, the player's handbook sort of thing, it is very, very pick up and play-y.
Yeah.
Like you can bang out a character or a generic character out in 5 seconds, which don't know about you guys, but me, I like to have a bit of creativity with.
Do you feel there's? Because I feel like there's enough creativity there. I just feel like the one thing I do like, especially from a DM sort of standpoint, is that when you make characters, yeah, they can come off as very generic, but then like the flair is kind of up to you to put in there, kind of thing.
It's just I'm just like salty with like how many of the traits are so fluff.
Yeah, but it does specifically say create your own traits if you don't like them. It literally says that there is a rule that literally says these traits are basically your idea. If you want to use other character quirks, use them yourself. It's the ones that it's more the perks. It's like, for instance, if you're an outlander, you have a good memory of like places you've been, and you can't like forget maps and stuff like that. That's the perk. You get that regardless. But like your traits, you can change them. You don't have to take. Oh, I often quote from scriptures or blah 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 blah. You can.
I can't keep a secret. I blurt it out. People know.
Yeah.
Taglines of when I'm lying.
Yeah, you can honestly just like make up stuff. I mean, I haven't got a character sheet on me, but like for instance, like when you put in like your flaws, you can sit there and say, "Yeah, I'm too much of a perfectionist." If I feel that like, I don't know. If I feel like I've done something and I've not done it quite well enough, I'll be compelled to do it again. That kind of thing. That kind of thing I kind of feel like is something that you role play out. And something that your DM will probably call you on. Occasionally your DM will sort of sit there and say to you, hang on a second, you're supposed to be a perfectionist.
It's the same with like how, just going on back to my character, is very much like... One of his flaws.
This is where we played D&D.
This is where we played D&D.
A couple of his flaws is like he's very hard to trust other people that he doesn't know already.
Yeah, so I'd be a bit strange if if a character walked up to you and was like, "Oh, hey there, Fox, how are you?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'm quite fine. How are you?" kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Well, why the hell are you so trusting of this?"
And it's the same with another one. Is his what's it?
So you got like
being a slave to his own emotions,
personality traits, your ideals, your bonds, your flaws. That's what I was trying to find. Yeah. So obviously you can create those. You don't need to take them from the book.
You can create those, but it's just the fact that they're there.
Yeah.
So you can easily pick up like characters, sort of things. I don't know.
I kind of like that. I kind of feel that the more people you get playing D&D, the more different ways you find of playing D&D.
I think I'm just being a bit too elitist on the whole thing, which we all know I'm quite elitist sometimes.
I mean, I do feel that's the only like issue I ever. I've been on forums, had a quick look at what people think about 5th edition, and a lot of them sort of very similar to you, kind of going like, well, they've kind of simplified everything. They've kind of made everything a bit more streamlined. And I was saying this to Luke earlier about like card games and stuff. It's like everyone says that like Pokemon is sort of Magic the Gathering light, because it's got a lot of its ideals and a lot of its mechanics kind of stripped back, and then they've just left it with the combat. And I was sort of saying, well, that sometimes makes things a better game. Sometimes if you focus on the bit of the game that people enjoy, then actually all you do is you just give them more access to the bit they like. And actually it's like, it's like Neapolitan ice cream. It's like, yeah, you've got that chocolate there, but nobody fucking eats the chocolate. Everyone eats the vanilla and the fucking strawberry. And you're left with this big block of chocolate ice cream, and everyone goes, like, oh, why aren't you eating chocolate ice cream? Because it's cheap Neapolitan ice cream. The chocolate bit tastes a bit like mud, and everything else tastes amazing. If you actually then started selling, Neapolitan ice cream sans the chocolate, and you just had a big tub of strawberry and vanilla, you'd kind of get what you enjoyed. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I agree that a lot of tabletops seem to be kind of homogenizing to kind of drag more people in, but I kind of feel like that's worked well for the gaming industry. I mean, we all think it hasn't worked well for the gaming industry because we've seen the effects of it. We've seen the effects of like Call of Duty, all of that. We've seen all of these games homogenize game genres to a point where they're almost unrecognizable to us, but actually it's dragging a lot more people into gaming. So when we do get good games now, we do get genuinely great games. Path of Exile was sort of one of those games. Everybody wanted this really hardcore RPG. Everybody was saying, we haven't got a hardcore, action RPG. Where's my... And then somebody went, well, I'll make one. There's enough money flying around the gaming industry to do it now. And there's enough people gaming to kind of fund it.
We had the whole Doom situation where, like, Doom was the originator of shooters. We got so many Call of Duties, then out of nowhere, oh yeah, does anyone want a retro shooter? Oh yeah, here's the new Doom.
And to be fair, like I said anyway, Doom was my game of 2016. I kind of feel like it's justified. sure, you go for all these crap games, but actually for real, I don't want to use the term real gamers, but sort of older, sort of more gameplay focused gamers anyway, we kind of got the good end of the deal, because actually we're able to kind of look at games and go like, well, that's going to be crap. You know, I mean, this is why I put down Final Fantasy 15, is because the gameplay bored me, but the actual game and story was fantastic. It's like, yeah, but you still need that gameplay bit.
But then it could go the opposite way. It's like how I saw with other editions of D&D. It's like, okay, it's way too convoluted. There's too many rules. There's
I mean, we
like,
always have this. There's always this argument that goes around tabletopping, and everybody's always like, you know, Pathfinder versus, you know, D&D. Now, let's be fair, both of them are the most kind of, what's the word? The most prevalent kind of systems. Pathfinder is very combat orientated.
Yeah.
Whereas D&D 5th anyway is very, very story driven. There's a lot of bits in there. I don't know if it's just lazy writing on the Wizards of the Coast's part. You know, they make magic. We know about lazy writing. And you're reading it sometimes and it will sit there like the spell Bestow Curse. It literally says, you bestow a curse upon the target. Talk with your DM and decide what the curse is and how big and effective it is. And it's like, I'm sitting there thinking, wait, I'm not the fucking wizard. Why do I have to make the curse? Piss off. I just wrote 8 hours of fucking gameplay. Like, what?
Imagine if it was a first time DM.
Oh,
Dude,
I
God,
know.
that would be a nightmare.
I mean, I said this when we had one of our first viewer questions, which was on like D&D and like, you know, tips for starting DMs. First thing I always said was read the book, read the rules. You know, read over spells for God's sakes. First thing you can do, download the spellbook app and just go through every spell and read them. You know, because as DM,
you don't have to know it like word for word, but as long as you've got an
a rough idea
of what it does.
Yeah, I mean, Bestow Curse is one of those ones where literally it says that.
But the thing is, it's very much one of them fluff spells that allows you to then RP it.
I like spells like that. I've got to be fair. I like Bestow Curse. Like, I begged you to take Bestow Curse just because it's a fun spell and it gives me some flair. It gives me some kind of, you know.
Because you can
effect
make
on
it
the
something
fight.
really stupid. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like you could make him be sick on his next whatever when he does whatever.
Yeah.
Or he gets hit and it's like, oh my god, he just turns into a little girl and starts crying.
I
You
He
know
gets
what I
food
mean?
poisoning next time he has a kebab. you know.
I curse him with infertility, and then I say to him, "Go, get out of it." It's evil as fuck. I love it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
The lecherous old man who's now impotent.
Yeah, all sorts. I mean, I like this, but
But it's a bit like, you know how in X-Men, where they make Stryker walk until his like feet bleed kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he just
Oh,
keeps
yeah.
walking and walking. You could make, if BBEG was to fail it, that'd be the end of your fight. You know what I mean? You just make him keep walking and walking. And he doesn't know why he's walking for so
I mean, it
long.
would be a ridiculously high DC.
No,
for
but
that to happen,
you see
obviously
where I'm coming
that's
from.
But this is what I keep saying to people, because I talk to a lot of other DMs who say things like, you know, oh yeah, well that's not in the rules, and you're like, well, it should be.
Yeah.
It's a really, really cool way of like allowing people to kind of like, the difficulty check system is in there for a reason. You know, if you don't, a lot of times, like for instance, like you guys will come up with like mad things you want to do, and you know what? One of the best things, instead of saying no to people, is just to set the difficulty check at 40. Literally set it to 40, and say, go ahead and roll. If they roll a 20, as long as you can feasibly make it work, let it work. Oh, 2 seconds. I think we have somebody knocking on our door.
Do. But
It's still being, as long as you're not making it ridiculous, like the guy falls over and slits his own throat for lols. You know what I mean?
That's stupid, essentially. You know. Sorry, my wife has just walked in. Say hello, wifey.
Hello.
Hello,
There you
Sophie.
Just to prove she's real. I'm not lying.
Oh no.
You okay? You got everything?
Yeah, can I borrow your phone? No, you're using your phone, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm using the phone and it's got no credit, so I can't ring them.
Okay, I'll go get it.
Sorry. Yeah, so, you know, like I say, if you roll a 20, it just, you know, the rule isn't you roll a 20, time and space warp, and the laws of physics suddenly don't exist. It's like, if you roll a 20, trying to, I don't know, you're sat there as a goblin, I don't know, as a goblin tinkerer, and you're like, I want to build a spaceship. Okay, well, roll your dice. I rolled 20. You don't know how to build a spaceship. You made the absolute best effort you could possibly have and more, and you still failed. 20s can fail. This is something that...
Just because it's a critical,
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's a critical success. Doesn't mean it's going to happen.
I've had people sit there and be like, they've told me stories of like, oh, well, the big bad evil guy was sitting there ranting on about his plan, and then as a paladin, I turned around and I said to him, no, stop being evil. And the Medea said, roll a persuasion check. And I got a 20. And the BBEG was like, yeah, you're right. I am an idiot. Okay, campaign over. No. No, he's not going to back down. There's immunities, there's things like that. Use them. It's about making the world... It's about making the threats tangible, but, like, making the rewards also tangible, You let them make progress towards things. It's like, if you, I don't know, say like your gunslinger wants to make a new gun, for instance, you turn around and you say, okay,
you're not going to make it first time round. You're not
going to sit there in one day and be like, yeah, perfectly carved that barrel and that's all in place just because you rolled a 20. No, it's going to take a few days. It's going to take, it's going to take some cumulative rolls. You're going to fuck up bits, and when you fuck up bits, it's going to take you back a bit. So it takes you 7 days to make a rifle or something. I don't know. I don't like the way normal rules work. The rules are like, you can only make like 15 gold from a profession any day. And you're like, that's fucking nothing. Healing potions are like 150. It's like, what the fuck?
There's loads of things I want to make.
It takes you 10 days to make a healing potion. Yeah, and it takes a goblin 1 second to remove that amount of HP from you. Can we not be a dick about this? I usually up it to something like 100 because I think that's fair. I think healing potions, maybe you make a batch of them, and like with Sora and Val's, roles, I've always said that, fine, she sets up like 5. Okay, well then you roll to see how many of them were successful, and then you roll to see what quality they've come out at, and fine, you make. 4.
That 5 could then go down to like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But the 2 might be, because you've not made quantity, you've gained quality.
Yeah, so you might get 2 slightly better health potions. Maybe instead of 1d4 plus 3, they're like 1d4 plus 8.
Instead of like a standard one.
Whatever, there's a little bit of
it comes
to
to like a greater one.
I do feel that they're probably... And the simplicity with the weapon rules as well. It's like a dagger, A dagger can be like, oh, I'm 1d4 of damage, I'm a dagger. Oh, a sai can be like a 1d4 of damage. Or like, a carving knife is a 1d4. It's like, these are all the same weapons. Like, what's... There's no diversity here. And I think that's my biggest problem with D&D, is there is no huge diversity.
Well, it was like how we've changed our things with a gun, with my rifle. Instead it should have been a 1d12.
Yeah, and I felt like, well, 1d12, you're reloading it every other round, that's 1d6. I kind of feel like a rifle would do more damage.
Should have that massive punch to then require
I changed
it
to 3d6, which I kind of felt like, okay, then you're only doing cumulatively, 1d9 a round? So you're only doing 3 more damage, but... kind of feel like when you crit and when you set up these huge shots, you're doing these big bursts of damage, and I kind of felt like that's the way the gunslinger should play. You should do a huge burst of damage and then be down for a turn, sorting yourself out and recovering grip points and, reloading rifles and maybe clearing breaches and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And in that time, the rest of the party is kind of scrabbling around. And actually, your cumulative damage isn't huge. Like, I watch all of your DPRs. It's the only way to kind of make encounters fun and challenging. DPR is damage per round, and if you're a DM, you should absolutely write down all the damage that your people do and keep a tab of them, because then you get an idea of how much damage they do. Yours is actually, not the highest. At all.
From being the highest, from when I was playing as my paladin.
Oddly enough, Muggin's is the highest. The cleric. The cleric has always been the highest. Because she's rolling 1d12 every attack. She gets an extra attack because of her... You're a war priest, aren't you, babe?
Yeah.
So you're a war cleric and...
Channel Divinity.
Channel Divinity doing an extra 1d4.
you're sitting there like she's almost doing somewhere between 2 to 16 damage every turn twice. You're like,
Where I can dish out probably most of before adding modifiers. It's like the maximum I can do is 18 before modifiers.
yeah, before like crits and stuff.
But before adding my +5 modifier, you know what I mean?
What I find about the gunslinger is you're able to almost guarantee that when you do hit,
It's a big
it
hit.
hurts, you know. And that's kind of what you want. You want those.
Because the reason I took sharpshooter is to also, so I don't gain disadvantage on shots from any range.
Yeah.
Negates 3/4 cover, and then for a -5,
You obviously can do that extra 10 damage.
for a
which is
-5
huge.
penalty to hit.
Oh, I remember something.
Then do
the
it for
other day.
+10.
You know when you crit,
Yeah.
that doesn't double because it's not a dice roll.
Yeah, but I've
Crits
I've never doubled that.
Oh, have you not?
No, I've only ever doubled
Oh.
I've only ever
I
doubled
doubled
the.
it.
I've only
Quite,
ever
quite
dou-
often I like double your dice rolls in my head, just like yeah, I do that, and then like that extra 10 damage. I
because with
did.
the D10 with those 3d6, it's like I'm doubling the first d6.
If it was an extra
then
D10
the third
roll, that
d6,
would crit kind of,
and
thing,
then
you know.
the second you like that. So it's like okay, the first one was a 6, so that's a 12.
How do you feel combat's like? Because like that's probably one of the biggest disagreements most people have with 5th edition is that combat can be a bit.
It is a bit rinse and repeat.
To be fair.
With your melee classes, it's just the most bare bones. With your magic classes, you got a bit more of
You
a...
can have so much fun, which you won't let me play as a magic caster.
You're not allowed to play a wizard
because
because it would break it.
because the joys with that is that the fact that you get something else, so you could be like get your sorcerer points,
Yeah.
and I could RP the shit out of that using different spells, twinning spells, quickening spells, this, that, and the other.
Like I always find, obviously, the 6 of you.
Mm.
The monster manual was written for a party of 4, more than anything. I always find like with those extra 2 characters, you almost have to double the health of everything. Like elite creatures, stuff like say I don't know, like that goblin that you met, Ruswrench, that you met last week. I mean, obviously
Red.
he's got special armor on, he's got special abilities, and he's able to reload his rifle every time he shoots immediately and stuff like that.
Did he really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Got what I've done is, you know, goblins have the ability to disengage or hide as a bonus
Yeah.
action. I've added the ability to reload a ranged weapon as well, because then goblin gunners, I kind of feel like goblins would love guns, and that's what
It
they
goes
would-
boom.
Wild duckling.
It says it's bang, and then it tastes of explosion. You know, this is kind of what they'd be all about. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I added that to.
I think that's really
goblins.
cool.
It works out really well because then there's not all this downtime. Like when you met you met 4 of them in bushes shooting at you, like from hiding positions. You don't get this kind of oh no.
Reprieve.
Oh, okay, he shot me. Right, run in and kill him. It's like, nope. I can reload as a bonus action. Because I'm a goblin and I'm little and I'm deft with my fingers, which is what goblins have always been. They're always the kind of sneakier people, you know.
But it would make more sense that they can fire more shots, but they might not be as accurate, but they'll be able to fire
yeah, I mean, they're
shot
still
after
goblins.
shot after shot after shot after shot.
Dexterity of +1, you know. They hit you every 2 shots, you know. Maybe.
But it's their ability of being able to rapid fire shots.
So, going through classes,
Mhm.
just because it's fun. So starting, we'll do it alphabetically. Bard. How do we feel about bards?
Love bards.
Love them.
But I feel that if you're going to play a bard, you have to be the cheeky one all the time.
Do you feel it's intrinsic to the class? Because I don't necessarily feel like a bard has to be the cheeky kind of clever one. I feel like the bard should be like when it comes to
Well, my last
use-
one, I played the socially awkward one.
you know, but like I kind of feel like they need to be the talker for the group. Almost.
Yeah.
I mean, there's loads of different ways.
Although
that you,
that sounds a bit too metagamey in my head. You know, oh, the bard, they have to be the charismatic. They have
but
to be
I
the
would
talker of
say,
the group.
I would say, I mean,
But
what-
that's how I see bards. Bards
Oh, yeah,
are
that's
that.
how we see
I
them.
mean,
but
to
obviously
talk
that's
about
quite meta.
metagaming in RPGs for a second, I always feel like metagaming is using
game knowledge to affect a character that doesn't necessarily have that game knowledge. That's what I consider metagaming. Like, for instance, you know,
It's like fighting skeletons.
like shooting at a goblin and rolling 22, and you being like, oh, how come I didn't hit? It's 22. You know, well, A, your character doesn't know what the fucking armor class of a goblin is, full stop. And secondly, you don't know what that goblin's wearing. And, you know, it's just like, okay. I mean, your reaction was fine, but your character wouldn't react like that.
No. That's what I was like, the fuck?
No, I wasn't saying your character was, but like, in that instance, it's like, you know, if you're using your game knowledge, like, for instance, like, you know, I've upped the AC of goblins.
Because a lot of our
goblins,
because a lot of us are just
Yeah.
but the thing is, I find with our group, it's very much once we find the bracket of where we hit,
Yeah.
you stick
And I do
with it.
find you all doing it. It's brilliant. You're all sitting there going like, okay, so I rolled a 14 and I missed. And you rolled a 16 and you hit. So it's 15 or 16 occasionally. Okay, now someone will roll an 8 and hit and you'll be like, the fuck is going on? And I love the confused look on your faces when you're trying to figure out armor classes. Because it's awesome. That's what I live for. You know. A bard kind of being charismatic. I mean, charisma's their dump stat.
Yeah.
If you're going to be an adventurer, now I'm not saying I quite like the I'm a bad class. I'm a bad such and such of that class, like an intelligent fighter. You know, the fighter that kind of goes out, isn't the strongest, isn't the most dexterous, is a bit clumsy, but knows how to research and researches being a warrior. I love that kind of shit because, like, I don't like it in every campaign because I feel if you're going to do something like that, D&D is the place to do it. You can play the off-character type, you know. Like, for instance, like, you know, you played quite a socially awkward bard. You didn't really want to initiate conversation. You know, he'd moved away from his troop, and actually because he'd moved away from his troop to kind of strike out on his own, had just sort of realised, shit, I work really well in a group, but, like, by myself, I kind of don't know what to do. You know, the dwarf was always the one that did the talking, and now I'm kind of like, okay,
A dwarf with a serious head injury.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell do I do? Kind of thing. And I found that quite endearing for a class, but sometimes I feel like in a group of 6, it's fine because you can always have a couple of characters kind of be not too good at what they do, but it's still D&D. It's still 5th edition, so you're still going to land the odd attack, you know. In combat, you're like, oh shit, I know exactly what I'm doing. Shatter, get out my face kind of thing. Because there's not the need to perform. It's like in those social situations. When you do talk, you're overly charismatic to the point that it annoys people, which I quite like.
Oh god, the accent situations.
I copy people's accents and stuff like that. It's awesome. But what I tend to find is like, I tend to find too many people kind of go, well, I'm going to play the bard because they can do this, 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 and this. It's like, well, actually, what if you were a bad bard? You know, I would hope that at some point you'd go, well, at some point I take a different class.
It's like playing Coffinix from Asterix and Obelix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you were like, I'm going to be him, and he's the one that everyone hates, and it's like, I'm going to string to a post.
Yeah.
God,
That kind
Jurgen
of-
should have been that.
But, like, okay, so overall, I mean, like, College of Valor to me seems a bit meh. Oh, I'm a bard that gets in the thick of fighting. Why?
Yeah, the
bard
fighter
would do
one
that.
was a bit of a
It's
weird
like, I
one.
read it and I'm just like, why?
Hence why I went to the other one and just went like,
College of Law, which is
yeah,
like,
oh, I can interrupt an enemy spell or attack.
learn any 2 level 3 spells. Have fun. They don't count towards your. You're like,
Yeah.
wait. I can learn Fireball and Lightning Bolt. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you learn Counterspell, was it?
Yeah, counterspell because
Counterspell and
It's ridiculous.
Fireball, wasn't it? Or something like that. I mean, you could
I'm
take.
trying to remember.
This is the thing. You can take level 3 spells from classes that don't get level 3 spells until like level 11, like the Paladin and the Ranger. So you can take things like Aura of Courage and stuff like that, and heal stupid amounts. And your cleric is kind of looking at you, going like, "Fuck, I'm the healer." Like,
Oh yeah,
no,
I went for a heal spell, didn't I?
yeah, or a Vitality or whatever.
I think it
was
was, yeah,
called.
Aura of Vitality.
Yeah. So I feel like bards are quite broken. Like from a DM point of view, bards are great. They start off slow. They start off. Oh, I don't really have much.
The fact that they can
vicious
do...
mockery, vicious mockery, vicious mockery.
Yeah.
But what else is brilliant is the fact that you get bardic inspiration as
bardic inspiration is
a
great.
bonus action,
Bardic
and you can give
inspiration
someone
takes-
a 1d6 extra.
Yeah, I mean, it goes up to something daft like a D12. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like bardic inspiration is just like, hey, barbarian harder. And they're like, thanks, I'm barbarian.
It's like, who's going to hit things harder next time?
Yeah.
And needs to hit. Oh, yeah,
I
then.
quite like that.
There you go.
Bards. Yeah, they have all the best spells as well.
Yeah.
But they've got all the spells that you would desperately want to
Well,
do.
I always see them as sort of the trick of all trades, master of none sort of thing. Because you get to learn 3.
Yeah,
spells.
they're not quite wizards who kind of, spoiler alert, just kind of turn around and say, right, what class am I today? Oh, I want to be a warrior today. Okay, I'm just going to take all the spells that make me amazing in melee and never get hit. Wizards, a party of wizards, I just say no to. The fact we've got 2 in this campaign, one of them's gone like necromancy, so I'm fine with it. It's like, okay, so we've got one who's kind of, a necromancer. The fire wizard, I'm just like, okay, you're the one I'm watching, Because when you start doing like way too much damage, I am just going to sit there and be like, do you know what? I'm taking your magic staff off you. It's now cursed. Shut up, kind of thing. So bards, we're all in favour of bards.
We like bards.
I like bards.
Okay, so barbarians.
When higher level, insane.
So basically, what you're saying is they're boring as fuck.
Until they get to like level 8 or 9.
So boring as fuck because most campaigns don't get to level 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So it's kind of how I felt about barbarians. Watching barbarians.
Yeah,
because if I played a barbarian,
If we
I
take
want
away
to
all
go
the
berserker
ridiculous
straight away.
if we take away like all of the ridiculous rules that I was giving you, like I let him hold a 2-handed weapon and then throw a small weapon because I just kind of felt that's a barbarian thing to do, throwing axes, yada yada yada. If we take away encore from the bard, which I allowed you to like cast a extra cantrip every round, yada yada, I completely overpowered them for their first campaign just for giggles, essentially. Just to see sort of how much you can break the game, and you can really frigging break the game just by adding like a +1 to a weapon. You totally throw the game out of balance. It's amazing. Yeah, that mace was just. Let's not talk about that mace. Barbarians. Okay, so barbarians, the class that I would immediately go to because I love melee. You guys have played Diablo with me. Immediately went for the barbarian. Oh, I can shout at things and call rocks from the very ground. Doing that. Barbarian in this, I kind of feel like, to me, when someone says barbarian, I feel like there's that picture of the kind of, metal. He's got like a metal helmet on. He's holding 2 axes, and he's sort of wearing like the skins and pelts of things that he's killed, and it just says, when your emotions can move mountains, then you can speak to me of love.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about barbarians. They are the emotion-driven, just kind of get in combat, kill everything, get drunk and laugh about it afterwards. The problem is that how that works in D&D terms, anyway, is it kind of turns into like they don't speak any languages, which is like a huge barrier for RPing.
Yeah.
They can use one of their points to
But
do it.
most people see barbarians as just like the brain dead will only get angry sort of.
But I like.
Grog.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
I like seeing intelligent, like, kind of.
The barbarian.
Well, but then when you have got like a berserker subtype, I like seeing characters, say like barbarians, that are smart. But then it's like a get out of jail free card when they go nuts. And it's like, I'm just going to pummel the hell out of you until you're dead. No matter how much damage I take, I'm just going to keep walking forward at you.
I'm not sure about intelligence with barbarians, but wisdom with barbarians. I love the idea of like a wise barbarian. They've been out in the wilds by themselves.
But that's what I mean. As
you know
in,
what I
like,
mean?
they can actually structure conversations and know. And...
Yeah. I mean, to me, like, the type of barbarian I've always wanted to play is kind of like... It's oddly like 1 point druid, 1 point barbarian. And be that kind of just... I've been out in the wilds, I've had to kill things, and I've actually learnt the way of the wilds while I'm out here, this more kind of I have become one with the wilds, and the bear is my totem, and I can become the bear and fight. I mean, the idea of becoming a bear as a druid and then raging, and then just being like, I'm a rage bear. I just love the idea of it. Absolutely. I just kind of feel like barbarians are badly presented on paper. The berserker barbarian obviously seems like the better way to go. I get all these extra
But why
attacks,
would you want
that
to
could
be a
crazy.
tanky barb like you can with the totem one?
Okay, the reason you want to be the totem barbarian, the path of the totem warrior, the reason you'd want to be that is because they are literally the best tank in the game. Full stop.
No, but what I'm saying
no.
is when you play a barbarian,
Yeah.
you'd want to be the guy that
quite,
goes and
quite,
hit things
that's my
really
problem.
hard.
But
And a lot of times, not be like, come on, hit me for loads.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like, no, because I want to be the one. The reason for raging is for me to be like, I'm going to break your face.
I do kind of feel like the Totem Warrior was missing that bit where it said that obviously, like, while raging, attacks dealt to you increase your rage by 1 turn. Because I do kind of feel like
that or more damage
you kind of all like
damage you can send.
You kind of all
back
like,
out.
I'm going to kill everything. I missed 2 of my attacks. Oh, I'm not raging anymore. But you're still getting hit in the face. That would piss me off. I don't know about you.
I feel that subclass was very fluff.
Very fluff.
Like how, as we're going with the fighter and the champion,
But it's-
that's fluff.
Yeah, I mean, Bard kind of felt like Valor, bad, Law, yeah. There's nothing to talk about here. The problem with Barbarian is it's like, the Totem Warrior is amazing. It's really hard to sit there, look at the Totem Warrior and be like, that's bad. Because it's not. It's like,
It's insane.
while raging, you take half damage.
But you can with Berserker.
Okay. No, but Berserk only gives you half damage to blunt, piercing, and the other one. Only to physical damage, not to like elemental damage. The only damage type that you don't halve
Is psychic.
is psychic. And to be fair, if you meet an Illithid, don't let your barb anywhere near him. That's generally the way you deal with Illithids. Oh, this giant wall of meat that keeps screaming and killing people. Don't put him anywhere near the thing with mind control. You stand over here. Oh, okay. Just leave him. Leave him back there. Give him a toy to play with.
But still, I think you've got to wait until barbs get close to like middle, to like double figures for it to be warranted.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Rage Barbarian, I mean, thematically, how does that work? How do you take this guy into towns? He's a berserker. One guard looks at him funny, he's going to freak out and kill half the population and have to be put down with arrows. It's like, Barbarian.
But I think for rage,
Yeah.
what you've got to do is have some form of taste of blood, as you see with Grog. It's like if he wants to rage and go into like a frenzied rage,
very
he has to
simple.
like bite his lip so hard that he tastes his blood, and then it's like blood in the water with a shark. It's like frenzy.
Yeah.
Go utterly.
I mean, I love Barbarian as a thematic, but I kind of feel like D&D dishes it out quite badly. It does turn into roll dice.
It is. It's just.
I mean, we laughed. We took the spare spell card and we made a rage spell card. It's like, I cast rage. It's like, what? I feel like Barbarian is the simplest class in the game. Like, everything it does is passive. The only things that are active from the Barbarian are things that, to be fair, you just do. Do I rage? Well, of course you rage. You do extra damage and you take less damage, and why wouldn't you rage? You div. So if I ever play a Druid again, I am putting 1 point in Barbarian just so that I've got rage, so that when I'm fighting a boss, I take that half damage from like blunt, piercing, and edge attacks. Of course I'm going to do that. Why wouldn't I? I'm a bear. I'm tanking. Oh, and I'm taking less damage. This is awesome. That's exactly what I'd want from it. So Barbarian, it's alright. Druid.
Well,
I love druids.
so do I.
I like druids more than anything.
But
Their circles are so much more powerful than everything else, and shape changing is janky and weird. I feel they're a badly put together class.
Yes. And as I've seen that they are putting new circles out for the druid to make the druid more of a better class to take.
I have to say, the circles thing annoys me more because actually, to me, the thing that needs some love as a druid is their animal forms and their shape changing abilities. That's the bit.
They've made
that
them more of a
needs some love.
spellcaster when druids are known for just changing into
But you've got
things.
wizards and sorcerers in the
Yeah,
game,
but you know
so-
what I mean? It's like, why aren't you giving like the things they can transform into better things? Or you can change into a bear. What can this bear? What's so different about this bear? Oh no, it's the same as like
It's
another
literally
bear.
you literally take the bear from the monster manual and you go, "That's you." Oh, but you have your charisma, intelligence, and wisdom. You don't have your like my druid rolled like I rolled like 18, 19, and 20 on 3 of my stats. And I'm like, oh, I wonder where I'm going to put them. Oh, I'll put them into the stats that I keep all the time. And then they turn around and then they're like, well, you're a wisdom caster. And then, is it wisdom or is it intelligence?
Yeah, it's wisdom.
Wisdom, yeah. You're a wisdom caster. And then, like, you could overcome all of your problems by just becoming a bear and moving everything. And I'm just kind of like, the way shape changing works, I mean, the way the challenge system works, the challenge rating system is just dumb anyway. But the fact that the druid uses the challenge rating system to turn into things, like you can only turn into a monster half your level in CR or something like that. I honestly haven't got it in front of me, but I know that as soon as
I think you can only transform into things of large sizes, and you can't go higher.
it gives you a very specific. You got to be a beast and stuff like that. And I mean, I get all that. I just kind of feel like they could have done more with that. And then they're like, "Oh, you can turn into elementals later." And it's like, yeah, but why? I wanted to be a druid. I don't like the idea of turning into an elemental. I don't want to become a fire elemental. I want to become a much bigger, much angrier bear. In World of Warcraft, right? I hate talking about World of Warcraft because, like, I feel it's about as homogenized as you can get. But the druids in that, you had cat form, you had bear form,
Moon.
and that was
Moonkin.
and Moonkin. That was kind of it. Like, you could turn into a tree for healing, but you know, we don't talk about that anymore because apparently it's not a thing anymore.
No, because you just go for the Moonkin now.
You had a form for each thing that you turned into, and I just kind of feel like, why can't it be more like that? I turn into a cat, wow, and then you just get stronger. That cat form gets stronger. Or maybe you can change the form that you turn into, but it just uses your stats. You know, to me, it would be more interesting to take your wisdom, intelligence, and like charisma, and actually use them. You know, say like, you know, you use your wisdom as your attacking, as your kind of attack.
So if you're in as
while
a cat,
attacking.
it'd be like your dexterity
Your
would
wis-
then become your
wisdom
wisdom.
is your instinct. You know, this is the whole point of being a druid. You're kind of using your instinctual powers, your powers of instinct as a creature to kind of do these things, and your wisdom is your instinct. So why would you not have that? I don't know. It seems strange to me. That's all.
Yeah, they are uber. Just
The spellcasting circles are broken. I don't know why they're adding
Blight
more.
is broken.
Blight's ridiculous.
Double damage against natural creatures, and no, it's not. It does maximum damage just on touch.
And
It's
then
just like
maximum damage on top.
And at
Yeah.
level 20, if you do get to level 20, which most people won't, but if you do get to level 20, they then turn around and say, oh, by the way, you can cast while in your animal form. Wait, you gave that to the spellcaster? What about the actual, like, the only thing you can really do as a sort of shape-changing druid is you can cast a concentration spell on yourself using up one turn, and then use your next turn to turn into a bear or cat or whatever, and then go ham. I just kind of feel like like World of Warcraft kind of had it right. You know, you pick like say 2 forms. You pick one that's a kind of very defensive. You know, your wisdom becomes your constitution stat, and you're able to weather hits, and you're able to kind of like, defend yourself, curl up, and use your hardened scales. You turn into a giant tortoise. You can still, you're a snapping turtle. You're biting people, and they're like, fucking get off me, turtle. You're like, no, I'm a giant turtle. Screw you, kind of thing. You become slower and more lumbering, but more imposing. Whereas, like, a cat or a wolf or something becomes a bit more sneaky, and
Yeah.
I just
boosts up like your stealth skill. Your
I just
movement
felt
speed,
that
like in cat
they
foam,
missed a trick. I kind of feel like later on, obviously this differs from game to game. The problem is that like we're sitting here bagging on classes, and actually in some campaigns they'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
It'd be like, yeah, turning into a bear, that's fine. We're dealing with the Ursine people of the northern regions. Having a polar bear show up every now and again actually helps diplomatic situations. And they actually talk to us better. Ha ha ha! They're literally the best class in the game. You're chatting shit. It depends on your campaign.
Yeah.
Always going to depend on your campaign. What's better, but like at base level, I just kind of feel like shape-changing druids get kind of screwed over for just having a spellcaster, and the spellcasting to me. There's no point if you're going to play a spellcaster. You just play a wizard or sorcerer because they are objectively the best class. Spoilers. Okay, so on from druid. What's next?
Can't remember.
We missed cleric. To be fair,
OP.
so
End of.
cleric.
Cleric, OP.
Cleric literally just kind of rolls up and just goes.
I'm a cleric.
I'm a cleric. I'm going to decide
Either to heal you
How
really
great I
high
am today.
or how much damage I'm going to give you.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Clerics, I think the reason they are OP is because, like, I know a lot of people don't like rolling them. I don't know why. Like, the first time I read this book, I was like, I'm rolling a cleric. Like, that thing looks amazing. Like, really? War cleric? I can attack twice? Yeah, sign me up. Yeah, but only for a number of times equaling your wisdom modifier. Fine.
Well, then you just make your dump stat that ridiculous.
Fine. I'll pick and choose when I use my extra fucking attack. I'm still going to use it. It's amazing. So clerics are dope.
Yeah, love them.
Most of the time it's like there's always this kind of old idiom where it's like if you're not going to take a cleric with you, why play kind of thing.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that's not the case. I kind of feel like being all you have to have a healer. Not in D&D. D&D does not need healers.
But it is helpful.
Not 5th edition. 5th edition, anyway, doesn't need healers. It's
The
helpful.
last fight we had needed healers.
Yeah, but I completely but that was a deadly fight. You'd have died anyway. If you hadn't took that ogre with you, you'd have died, kind of thing. Simple as that. But that was the point. That's the point of a deadly fight is that you set up how well your party's going to work up to it, and then you let the dice roll. And to be fair, you guys did well. You figured out the trap quickly, and you helped that. You made it die much faster, and yeah, kind of happy with that. What was that?
I think that's next door.
Okay, as long as it's next door.
Not me.
Yeah. So fine. Clerics to me feel great. Things like Guiding Bolt are just. Guiding Bolt is fantastic. It's one of the most OP level 1 spells. It's like really.
And when it crits,
4d6.
stupid.
Jesus, yeah. Okay, so clerics are amazing. It doesn't matter which cleric you take. It doesn't matter what circle you take. You're going to be good. You just decide what god you're following, and you kind of go along those lines.
Go with that.
And have fun. Fighter. Now we were talking about melee classes being boring. Roll dice, abide by dice, yada yada yada. I kind of feel like fighters are the one that don't, actually. Like, okay, if you take champion, yeah,
It's
fine.
fluff.
They do. It's roll dice, abide by dice. But if you take battle master,
That's where it's fun
Master
because you get
is
this.
the
it's
one
actually
way.
kind of like roll dice, have your friend run in and abide by dice, then you run in and abide by dice, or you knock them over, or... I've made it a point now that obviously I give every fighter the ability to have 2 superiority dice and pick a battle maneuver. Just have a battle maneuver. Except you, because you're a gunslinger, so that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm going to triple attack you with my gun.
But I'm still a fighter archetype.
Yeah, gunslinger, so shut up.
But you said I'm making it as a point.
I shoot him in the leg. Okay.
But I'm just proving your point
You
wrong.
can't shop. Yeah, but you can prove me wrong all you want. You just die next week. That's fine.
Don't, because I like Fox.
That's what's fun about being a DM is you can prove me wrong all you like. Battle
I'll get
Masters.
Sophie to shout at you.
Yeah, Battle Masters. I just kind of feel. I kind of feel like they're kind of necessary. It makes the fighter fun.
It makes so much fun.
They are the fun part of the fighter because choosing your battle maneuver. I decided to sweep the leg. Oh, like I've got a flail. I'm going to wrap it around the legs and then pull the leg. What?
Yeah.
So you're going to bring him to you? Yeah.
Having commanding shout or strike?
Strike, yeah.
It's like you could then put into, just looking at that, you can then make your character a veteran of whatever, and say you could build your character around that archetype.
Yeah. You take one of your characters and you say, listen, you're attacking that man and you're attacking for an extra D8 of damage. You just take your rogue and just laugh.
Yeah.
There's ways of breaking it. You know, there's ways of breaking everything. Jared knows there's ways of breaking everything.
Because that's Jared's job.
Jared's job is to break any new game we play.
Unless you give him a mythic and tell him to shut up.
Eldritch Knight. Now, this is the one that you've took.
This is the one I've taken.
It's not that good, is it? Is it just me?
Late game, it becomes alright.
Of course. But like, there's...
It's like how we're saying Barbarian is better late game.
Like, I've got it on it because obviously I'm playing Tiefling and thus I get like...
That's if you want to play a mixture of like Warlock Fighter.
Yeah.
It's like you can only pick Abjuration and Evocation spells.
Why would you?
Do you think that's really... Well, I mean, they're the two that they want, but, I mean, there's so many kind of like... If you're dabbling into magic, why not just let them dabble into magic? Why not just give them the reduced spell slots like they have? You know, they only know 2 cantrips. They only ever get to know 3. And they only ever get a 4th level spell. I mean, and what? You know, they can know up to 13 spells. I mean, this is level 20. I mean, like, reasonably, like most people will hit level 10, right? You're going to know 3 cantrips. You're going to know 7 spells. You're only going to have 4 first level spell slots and 3 second level spell slots.
What's the point?
It's fuck all. You actually get better spell slots by going like sorcerer, fighter, sorcerer, fighter, sorcerer, fighter, sorcerer, fighter. You actually end up with A, a better spell pool, and B, like you end up I mean, the things are just like fluff. Weapon bond. At 3rd level, you learn a ritual that creates a magical bond between yourself and one weapon. You perform the ritual over a course of an hour, which can be done during a short rest, blah, 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 blah. Once you've bonded with it, you can't be disarmed. And? What kind of level 3 is that? This is the defining thing you're going to do. Yeah, you can cast spells of level 1 twice a day. Okay, have fun casting Magic Missile.
What's wrong with Magic
You
Missile?
can't even cast Magic Missile, can you? It's
No.
Evocation.
Yeah.
Evocation and
Abjuration. So, shield?
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
It essentially saves yourself.
I just feel like Champion is more fluff, but better. And battle maneuvers do most of the stuff that your spells do.
Better.
Which it felt like a misfire to me. I get what they were trying to do, and to me it just doesn't quite
Work.
no. But then again, it goes as your DM wants it to. You know, I kind of feel like there is a place for this kind of whole just rules only D&D yada 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 using only 4 characters and the creatures and their combat ratings and stuff like that. You know, and that's actually the Adventurers League. You know, you have like sanctioned. You have like sanctioned events and sanctioned things that you do, and depending on how high your like party gets, you get like rated and stuff like that. Yeah, I wasn't a fan, to be fair. Fighters feel like the character that should really, in my opinion, be probably one of the better ones, but then isn't. Apart from Battlemaster. Battlemaster feels like what every fighter should be, full stop, and they should have worked around that system. And then have Eldritch Knight be able to use superiority dice to cast spells.
Yeah.
Better than the wizards, but less times a day, you know. I don't know. Who knows? Monk.
Broken.
Yeah.
They are the most breakable character ever. It's
Yeah.
just like, why would you ever take a weapon? I don't get it. It's
How many
like-
times was I dashing around the fucking battlefield just punching stuff
It's
last
like
time?
you do 1d10 of damage with your fists. Okay.
That's a lot more than most
take
weapons.
why take anything else? It's just I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it.
I think we should just skip it because it is just breakable.
Like, yeah, they're just daft. It's like
It's stupid. All you have to do is look in the book, and it's like, there you go.
Except for the Avatar one.
Laugh.
They're a bit...
it's like you either go way of the open hand, where basically you turn it into an absolute just powerhouse. You turn
Hasn't it got like quaking fist? It's like if it fails a constitution check, it dies straight away.
No. That's just way of the open hand. Way of the open hand. Oh no, quivering palm. You're right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
If they fail a constitution.
If it succeeds, it takes 10d10 necrotic damage.
Yeah, but if it fails, it dies instant. It's insta death.
Okay. Way of shadow, which you turn into a ninja.
Yeah.
But why would you when you
Just go rogue. You just go rogue.
Yeah.
They're not even that good.
But then if you're
Starting
going
when you choose this tradition at third level, you can use your key to duplicate the effects of certain spells as an action. You can spend 2 key points to cast Darkness, Dark Vision, Pass Without a Trace, or Silence without providing material components. Be a rogue. Just do it with a dex check. Whatever. Way of the 4 elements. Roll a wizard. If you like Avatar that much, go watch it and then roll a wizard.
Watch out, he's a bender.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
be careful.
don't-
He's a bender.
I don't know.
Still, just
Monks are fine. I like the idea of them. I just feel like certainly when we've played with one,
Yeah.
and I kind of felt like you were the one that was really holding it all together, just kind of running around blowing up everything, and I was like, "Ooh,
I just dash in between
Like,
targets.
you didn't even have magical weapons. It was just like bang, bang, bang. And the thing is, it's like the whole, your fist attacks become magical for the purposes of overcoming like resistances. And you're not going to get magic gloves off your DM. Your DM's not going to set you up with some magic katars or something. I don't know. Paladin.
brilliant.
OP as balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
OP
Like
as...
this has to be my ultimate
Balls.
favourite class that I would play as,
Yeah.
and just because I like playing as a knight.
If you
But it's
take...
broken.
If you take out Vow of Vengeance, though, don't you think they're a bit of a stick in the mud?
Yes, they are.
Good. Right. As long as we agree on...
But yet again, with this, what's the first one?
Divine Smite, and like Divine Smite's retarded. You do so much damage.
Yeah,
So much. 2d8.
but then and it goes up for each spell slot you use.
It's crazy.
And then at level 11 you get Divine Smite, where you get an extra 1d8, and that's added onto a normal attack without using
things
Divine
like-
Smite.
things
So
like-
instead of having a
yeah.
maximum of 5d8, you can have a maximum of 6d8 because you can stack these,
Yeah.
which is stupid.
I kind of feel like Divine Health is fluff, but it's helped like when I threw the Aboleth at you.
Yeah, it's like, ha ha ha, you may have two-shotted it, but like, you have a disease. No, I don't.
because I've got Divine Health. Oh, right. But like, they're one of the only creatures that can
But
use
still,
diseases.
if you want to break it, just go as an elf or a half-elf paladin. Then you get advantage on charm spells. You can't be put to sleep by magical means, and you're immune to disease.
He's just walking around like, yeah.
And then your courage, you can't be frightened.
God, yeah.
And then Aura of Protection gets your
Like-
charisma modifier
yeah, literally
put onto top of
I'm
their
going to
saving
have
throws.
20 charisma, so everybody gets +5 on their saving rolls because I'm there.
Plus on top of their saving rolls.
I feel like they're the hardest class to build encounters around
Yep.
because you're always like, oh, the paladin's going to break.
If you want to break it even more and do what I didn't do,
Which was...
go Vengeance and go Greater Weapons Master and have a two-handed
Oh, yeah,
weapon
just walk around with two-handed
with,
weapons.
with Sentinel as well.
So you just stand next to somebody
For
being
10
like,
hit everything within 10 feet
"Don't
because of the range of
ever
your weapon.
move." Yeah.
And then I'm going to stop your movement as well, so you can't move. And then with a bonus action, with that reaction, you can move half of your movement to then get in front of him and be like, in your face.
How do we feel about rangers?
Terrible. Second favourite class. Just don't even talk to me about it in this. Don't want to acknowledge it because they've ruined it.
Needs reworking. I mean, I'm trying to build my fucking ranger, and I'm just struggling to think of anything to do outside of homebrewing with you, John.
Favoured enemy you don't even get extra damage on it anymore. You don't even get advantage on hitting it.
Yeah, favoured enemy and favoured terrain.
Favoured terrain's way better.
Yeah.
Favoured enemy, you should get a bonus of what damage you're doing to it, or a bonus to hit it, not be like, well, you just really hate it.
Yeah.
You know everything about it, but you don't know how to hurt it more. You would know.
You've hunted this thing for fucking years.
You would know its weaknesses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's stupid.
Okay. The hunter archetype
Is lame.
breaks the fucking game. I don't know where you guys are coming from.
No. Nope.
No?
Nope.
The hunter literally... Okay, Colossus Slayer. You know, your tenacity, blah, blah, blah. When you hit a creature with weapon attack, that creature takes an extra 1d8 damage if it's below its hit point maximum. That's literally it hitting with battle maneuvers every turn.
No. I just think...
For free!
Yeah, but you should still have that... You should have just got that bonus anyway with having favoured enemy. Full stop. Without having to take Hunter, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, if your favoured enemy had to automatically abide by Colossal Slayer, that's fine. But
Yeah.
Colossal Slayer for everything, God no.
Yeah.
Then why have favoured enemy?
I just feel like favoured enemy is the fluff.
But it never used to be the fluff.
Yeah, but it was OP. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's why you didn't fight that. You didn't fight your favourite enemy everywhere you went. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, I hate dragons. You're not going to fight a dragon all the time, are you?
Yeah, but you're always going to pick dragon because when you fight dragons, you want to be able to kill the dragon.
Yeah, that's why you pick things like that as your favourite enemy. It's not like, oh, I'm going to pick a goblin. Unless it's in your story where it's like, I hate goblins, but then you're going to want to kill every goblin you see.
Okay, I mean, I think the hunter archetype is awesome. Just flat out awesome. I mean, I always run by the rule of going up to like level 10, 11. Don't like go past there because like, you know, at level 15 you can... When are you going to get to level 15? Seriously. If you're playing that long a game, then congrats. You've probably won already. You know, your DM is just finding ways to kill you at that point. But it's just like, you know, like defensive tactics. You've got escape the horde. Opportunity attacks against you are made with disadvantage. That's amazing. Multi-attack defense. When a creature hits you with an attack, you gain +4 bonus AC against all subsequent attacks. Nobody gets that.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's built for you not being a ranged fighter. That's built for you being a dex two-handed sword fighter.
And a dex two-handed sword fighter as a ranger is better than a dex two-handed sword fighter as a fighter.
I know, but you know what I mean with that.
To me, that's what makes no sense. If you're a level 3 fighter, level 3 ranger, by the way, you can multi-class. That's nuts. You can literally go Colossus Slayer, battle maneuvers, and you can literally just be like, fuck everything. I'm a two-handed weapon dex fighter ranger. Like, there's a reason Drizzt is so overpowered, and it's because he's a level 17 ranger, level 3 fighter, not the other way around.
I just prefer ranger as being, I'm going to run around with a bow.
Okay.
And yet another thing they should have put in is arcane archer, and I would have been happy.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with that. The arcane archer archetype is a huge thing. It's always been a huge thing.
Yeah.
And I just don't... Where's it gone?
Then you break the game.
Yes.
I'm going to cast fireball
What
at
about-
the point of where my arrow hits.
What about the other ranger archetype?
Beastmaster. Fluff.
Why would you ever take it, kind of?
You'd never.
Yeah.
It used to be, but the thing is, you used to get your pet. You used to get your pet at level 3, regardless if you're a beastmaster or not.
Yeah.
Now you have to be a beastmaster to have it.
So like if you're gonna metagame, you pick hunter.
Yeah.
If you're gonna RP and you've got a furry friend in your
but then
which used to be everybody's thing. It just mean like whenever you play like D&D, somebody always wants to be like, I'm a guy and I have a dog and my dog. You're like,
you know what? That is because
why does everybody want pets?
Because in previous editions, as I was saying, you get an animal with you, full stop. It's the same with sorcerers and wizards.
Yeah.
You used to get familiars.
Yeah.
Now you don't.
Well, you got the spell find familiar, but yeah, you have to kind of make an active point of
It almost became the cliche of it. You know,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I went into a different RPG. Oh yeah, I see a ranger. What do I expect? Oh yeah, for it to have a fucking pet.
Yeah, yeah.
It became literally the cliche of the class.
So you two don't like Rangers.
Okay, okay.
I love Rangers,
No, I like rangers.
but I don't like how it is in 5th.
In 5th, yeah, they're a bit trash.
Oh, I see. Sort of like the thematic of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
the thematic doesn't make any sense. I kind of agree with you on the.
That's why I
thing.
hate so hard on it.
I do kind of think like what they gave them in response to taking that away from them kind of made them better against everything, just not better in like their favorite enemy is dragons, and all of a sudden they're just killing dragons by themselves. It's like fuck them, the dragons, whatever, But like everything else, they're kind of like a really bad fighter against. Just kind of like I hit it for 6.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel like me, I'm a sucker for melee anyway. But I kind of feel like with ranged characters, certainly, like, I mean, obviously the ranger is called the ranger.
They're meant to be at range.
I'm assuming. I don't know if that's why. I don't know if it's more like the park ranger, where they're supposed to be kind of like guardians of the wild. But
I
it
want to
doesn't
run
make
around with a longbow
It doesn't make any
and
sense.
just annihilate things
But-
from miles away.
But Aragorn's a ranger, and he runs around with a giant two-handed sword, and I fucking love the guy.
Fuck Aragorn.
But I kind of feel like that's how they should be. Just because you like Boromir. Rogues. Do we need to say anything about
No.
rogues?
No.
Go Assassin if you're metagaming, go Thief if you're not.
Yet again,
Never take Spell Thief because there's nothing.
if you're
in
doing
there.
back to Ranger, if you're going to take Beastmaster, then dabble into Rogue to then gain the bonuses that you would have had.
Rogue Ranger's nuts. Yeah, absolutely.
That's metagaming.
That's
Yeah.
metagaming. Is going Rogue Ranger and shooting people with a bow for an extra 1d8 damage plus all your sneak attack damage. And critting because you're hiding somewhere and they can't see you and they're surprised.
You initiate combat. It's a critical.
I mean, we still have that amazing moment where Sophie, just having took Ranger, snuck in behind the BBEG. He didn't know.
No, she did that just without Ranger. She did that Rogue, just full Rogue.
Was that just Rogue?
Full Rogue, yeah, because she'd got the face spider armor that I made her,
Yeah.
which you should never have put in.
Again, I completely overpowered you in that campaign.
Yeah.
On purpose. I just wanted to see what I could do with the combat system, and it turns out not much.
Break it.
Unfortunately. I think, like, the one thing we could probably say, without going any further, we will, because I want to, is that 5th edition doesn't do combat very well.
No.
Not badly, but not well.
But not amazing.
It does it in a very straightforward kind of, here you go, have some
It's
combat.
the
kind
the
of
pick
thing.
up and play thing.
Yeah.
Literally, it's like
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer,
Thoughts?
don't let me play it.
If you're going to play them, play Wizard. I
yeah.
kind of feel like. Or play a Lightning Sorcerer and make sure you take that, Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide Lightning Sorcerer so that you can maximise the damage of your Lightning Bolt twice a day. Laugh at everything. I don't think there's much to say about Sorcerers and Wizards. Sorcerers and Wizards are essentially... They're the class you play. They wake up in the morning and go, oh, I should write out my spellbook. Oh, what do I want to do today? Do I want to be a melee caster? Do I want to be this? Do I want to be that? It's like... I kind of feel you always need one in your team.
Yeah.
Because they sort every situation out. It's like, did we fail all of our checks? Oh, I charm him. Oh, can we not get past here? Okay, I cast Levitate, Oh, is that thing not dying? I cast Fireball. It's like being a dog.
Oh, that thing's going to cast that
like
really
being a
powerful
dog.
thing that's
Oh.
going to hurt me.
Oh, is that a thing?
Counterspell.
Oh, can I eat it? No. Okay. Can I fuck it? No. I drool on it. Dogs have an answer for everything. They're very simple rules, but they have an answer for everything. That's just kind of how wizards feel. Wizards just have an answer for everything. And wizards bore me because of that. I'd never play a wizard.
I would play Wizard.
I'd never play a wizard. They're just boring.
You know why I'd play
I cast
Wizard.
Fireball.
No, you know why I'd play as a Wizard.
Because you could break the game.
And play as a Blade Singer.
Oh yeah, Blade Singer is the
And
one.
lol.
Blade Singer,
Stupidly hard.
Blade Singer is like it's the archetype that honestly would make me play a wizard because.
It takes the best parts of being a fighter and a wizard.
But don't you feel like Blade Singer should be what a fighter should be? Fighters should have that kind
That's
of.
what Eldritch Knight should
enhanced-
be.
It's like even Second Wind, like in a fighter, it's like you get an extra movement, you get an extra attack.
No,
you get
that's
an extra.
action surge.
That's action surge.
That's what I was.
Second
You
wind.
said
is the
second
heal.
wind heals.
I didn't mean to say second. I meant action surge. You know, you get this extra movement, you get an extra action, you get an extra bonus action. To do what? Roll dice again? Shut up! Like seriously, you know, like that's it. That's it. Like to just run in and roll more dice? No, leave me alone. Ugh, Warlock,
Underpowered.
underpowered as fuck.
Yeah.
Massively underpowered.
It's like, oh, I'm not a wizard.
They're sort of your debuff class.
Yeah.
The only decent things they have is Eldritch Blast and Witch Bolt.
Yeah.
They're the only two things that I like.
Yeah, but guess who gets Witch Bolt?
Eldritch Knight.
Wizards, Eldritch Knight, Bards, Sorcerers.
Yeah.
Everyone gets Witch Bolt. Witch Bolt is just a thing that everyone has.
But Witch Bolt's insane.
Warlock, to me, feels the most fun RP wise. Because obviously it's this idea that you've sold your soul to some higher being for power.
Yeah. But if I was to do that, I'd
I
play
do-
like how Ray does with
I
the
love-
old one.
I love the spell shaping element where you like take Eldritch Blast and then you have it kind of like pierce through things, or you have it double in range, or it like knocks people back. 10 feet.
Increases damage.
I love the idea of just Eldritch Blasting somebody off a cliff. Like if a DM could put that in a game for me, I'd do it all day.
Like it is actually a blast, not like a
Oh, necrotic damage.
you hurt me. No, ow, it's flinging me across this room.
Just fuck you.
Because it's meant to be like wild magic, and you have no control over it. It's supposed to be like, boom in your face.
As far as I remember, Warlock were the kind of finger quote newest class
Yeah.
in 5th edition because this was the one that got the biggest overhaul. Before they were just wizards with debuff spells.
Yeah.
I feel like they've done a lot to it. It's interesting, but like not interesting enough.
Unless you just want to RP the hell out of it.
And like they're very malleable though. They're the class that interests me the most. But there's just not enough there, kind of thing. It's like, oh, look at all this stuff you can do. Yeah, but I can still be a wizard.
Yeah, because isn't there 3 dump stats like one of them's Constitution, isn't it?
Yeah.
I swear one of them's Constitution. I'm
Yeah.
They're going like for a spellcaster. Okay.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
seems-
that's cool and all.
It
you know,
seems strange to
but
me.
that's weird.
Yeah. Overall, though, I think 5th edition is very attainable. I think it's the one thing that it has going for it is that you can basically just kind of roll up to a 5th edition session, jump in and play. Yeah?
Yeah,
I don't feel
But-
like there's a lot of legwork to do. I think you show up and you pick up the rules as you go. Kind of
yeah,
thing.
which is what
I feel like
I
3.5
don't like about it.
3.5 does not feel like that. 3.5 feels like do your fucking homework or die.
Yeah,
Do
do
you know
your
what I mean?
homework or learn to play or just bend over.
I mean, you guys are more RPers than you are combaters. So to be fair, I tend to be quite lenient with how things go. I'm not one for killing your characters every 2 sessions or anything like that. Some DMs believe it's them versus the world, and you know they just ruin the game because they feel like they have to kill their PCs, otherwise they'll never learn.
No, essentially,
or-
when you're a DM, you are God. You are supposed to nurture the world that you lay before.
I mean, I've
Your
always,
creature.
I said,
But if we make stupid decisions, you're like, do you really want to do that?
but I kind of feel like I should stop doing that. I kind of feel like I should be more like, okay, that's what you do, and this happens, and you go, oh fuck, why did I even think of doing that? What I will always do is explain something that I feel I might have misinterpreted. Like, you know, when I sit there and say, you know, oh, there's this gold kind of like pyramid in front of you. It's very shiny, you know, and the first thing you're like is like, oh, I want to climb it. I'm like, okay. It's more shimmering, like there's a barrier around it, and like the air is crackling around you. You sure you want to climb it?
oh right, I didn't realise it was like magically shit. Yeah, that's no. I stay the fuck away from that. You know, it's like just making sure that I've explained something correctly, as opposed to, you know, all right then, fine. You die to the shimmering, the shimmering void of darkness.
You get vaporized.
What? You said it was shiny. That kind of thing. I'll always make sure you're given the right information before you do it. I know there's a few situations that I've read from other forums where somebody was like explaining that there was a chimney or something, and they were saying like, it was 2 foot wide and it could probably be shimmied up. And the first thing the guy was go, right, well, I'll shimmy up the chimney to get onto the roof to see if I can see what I can CCC, and all that he could CCC was the lava below the chimney. And the guy was like, never mentioned there was lava below the fucking chimney. And it's like, we didn't ask if there was lava below the chimney. It's like, I feel that was a DM being an idiot. Like, you didn't explain to your, like, if it was real life and you looked up a chimney, you'd look down, wouldn't you? And you'd be like, oh, it's a bit hot here. Ah, lava. Like, you have a passive perception score for a reason, Oh, you have a passive perception of at least 12? Yeah, you might notice the glowing orange lava below you. Maybe don't do that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm all for heroics. I'm all for, I'm all for player death, to be fair. Like, I was honestly hoping one of you would go down with that demon that I threw at you. I mean, 3 of you did go down, but none of you died, and I was like, kind of feel like I underpowered the demon more than anything else.
No, it was strong enough.
You may not feel like it, but it was supposed to be a deadly encounter. The whole point of this was that at the beginning I was like, you're going to be going on adventures, but to be fair, I kind of felt like I didn't want to kill you because, to be fair, you played properly.
I'm not doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made the decision.
If you kind of do stupid shit and start like trying to talk down demons and stuff like that,
No.
Maybe the demon carves you in half. Fuck you.
If you were a warlock, then maybe.
It's like this week you're gonna have to be careful because everything that goes on this week is gonna be like, are you sure? This is. Just did that. Are you sure you want to do this? And it's kind of been like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Like I say, I want a true.
As long as I get my goblin, I don't care.
I want a true sense of danger from this campaign. Not like the last campaign we played. It got so boring because there was no stakes. Oh really? Are any of you?
You've seen us how close we were to dying. Like 2 things into it when me and Sophie was in the mansion and the mansion was coming down after saving a halfling.
Exactly.
But that's what I like.
And you saw us absolutely panic.
But I like those near-death experiences because it gives your characters a sense of mortality. It makes you care about them. The reason you care so much about your characters is because they've nearly died, and you're like, I like this character. He survived.
That's why Fox is really cocky, but then stands down.
Yes.
Because I don't want him to die.
There is a sense of mortality. Do you know what I mean? It's like, trying to do a podcast.
There is going
showing me cakes.
No, it's not cake. I want you to open the celebrations tin.
Is it an actual
I
celebration?
don't know how to do it, yeah.
Ugh.
Sorry.
For the love of God. This is why we film on Tuesdays, guys.
Sorry. Do you want to go?
No. It's your house, so I can't make you leave.
You can eat celebrations in the street.
How?
The cold street.
Yep.
Yep.
Enjoy your celebrations.
It's so nice, but I'm so cool.
I really like Milky Ways. Milky Ways are amazing.
Well, that's why I'm sharing them out. The whole point was to share them out.
You're so kind.
It's okay. I'm bringing all the love. I am the cleric. I'm bringing in tributes of sweets.
Are you struggling with that
I
celebration?
tell you what, I'm struggling.
You know what it is? Diabetes. That's what's ruining John's Mountain Day.
This is a survival instinct. I'm like, I don't want to open the sweets because
What did you roll for survival?
Because did you just put a 1 in front?
No, I said roll for survival.
6.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a 9 actually.
What's your plus to
Cannot
survival?
Minus
Obviously,
11.
like maybe a +1 at best, and that's a DC of 40. That straight away. Yeah, it's my new one.
There you go.
Ooh. Ooh.
So I feel like we've said enough about D&D and open celebrations.
Yay!
Milky Way!
Yes!
No, because I feel sick after this.
Don't eat too many then. Do you want one, Joe? Or do you want a few?
He can have a bounty.
Oh, fuck
Don't
off.
give him a bounty!
You're only allowed.
Bounties
Chew
are
that
the
for an
fucking-
hour.
No,
Chew
they're
it for
the
an
worst
hour.
things in the
I
galaxy.
can't stand
Fuck off.
bounties. They're going to be like the only ones
I
left.
love the meme scene where it's like, you have the celebrations box and all that's left is bounties.
You're
Yeah.
just mean.
Because seriously, that's
I
what
like
that's like.
bounties.
I
I
hate
give them to
eat
my
the
dad
bounty.
because dad loves bounties.
I've
Yeah,
not got a
I know.
problem with bounties.
That's more
Okay, so
expensive.
kind of feel like we've talked. So I kind of feel like we've probably talked about D&D enough. Probably rambled a bit on D&D. Give me my fucking Malteser. I
You have a
swear to-
bounty
Swear to God.
and a bounty. You got to eat them together.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, like that.
And that bounty.
I'm so glad we record them.
Yeah, I know, right? Trying to professional record a thing.
I'll go in a second.
Sophie's a bad influence on me.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, it's just you being you.
Hey.
Shall we take another question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go on then.
What are the other questions?
They're up on the screen behind me.
On
Do
the
you want me
thing.
to read them out? No, sorry.
Yeah, do it, Sophie. Welcome to Sophie's Corner.
Woo-woo.
Is it there or is it on the actual web page?
Hold on.
There we go.
My name was Percy.
Soph's logged me out. Oh, do you know what? It's nearly 3 hours. Should we just do the viewer's topic?
Yeah.
If you want to send us any emails, jjjapc@outlook.com.
I think this podcast went out the window when
it really did. It really did.
because no one's given us questions and I want questions.
I'm sorry.
I'll even
Alright.
do an agony aunt thing.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Viewers topic. Our viewers topic comes from Mr. Matthew Reed, who I know as Gin of the Sheep. You know as Gin of the Sheep. Did you ever play with Gin?
Don't think I ever played with Jin.
Jin is like my favourite person. He's like my favourite online person, full stop. He's like a beast. Basically, to paraphrase his question, because I don't have it up. Actually, I do have it up. Go on, Outlook.
I'm already on your thing.
Okay. So, basically, I'm going to read it all out.
Do it because it is brilliant.
You went to the lengths to do it. So basically, it says, "Esteemed gentlemen, ever since I was a young lad, I've longed to live in a grim, distant future or parallel universe where everything wants to kill you for no logical reason, and where mass slaughter appears broadly acceptable. However, given that I suffer from hay fever and asthma, my concern over potential healthcare options put a stop to my research into time-dimensional travel. Fortunately, I stumbled upon a Games Workshop store that catered for my desire to enact war crimes without the need to bring my prescription. For a good few years, I enjoyed the Warhammer universe and various spin-offs such as Necromunda. I always like the name Necro. My online handle is Necromaniacal. It's an obvious joke. I'm the best person ever. Shut up, everyone. Until one day, I realised I had no friends and was about to head off to university. And so my collection of figures grew dusty in my room before being carefully boxed up to hide them from the girls. That's right, that shit happened. I've got kids and bear a striking resemblance to me. As evidence, bless you. Bless you, Jin. They went in the bin as I finally moved out of my parents' house. Fast forward 10 years, the need to lovingly paint infuriatingly small figurines and then destroy my opponent on the battlefield has returned after playing Deathwatch for an unhealthy amount of time. However, being a socially awkward man with no friends and who had similar bloodlust, and that the stores seem to be permanently inhabited by young kids, I am stuck as to what to do next. I'm really struggling to read this, I do apologise, I'm tired. My questions are thus: number 1, is this weird? Should I abandon my urges and give up into middle age? No.
No, don't.
No. There are so many games you don't need to paint, but yeah, we'll talk in a second. 2, if I should seek to fulfill my desires, what should be my first step? Can I do anything without engaging anyone else in conversation? No, but we'll talk in a second. And 3, at what point do I admit these secrets to my wife? She doesn't listen to our podcast. When you're ready. I await your response with bated breath.
you spelt it breathe, by the way, just because you were like a journalist at one point, all right? These sort of mistakes I will not put up with.
You're being a
Just-
grammar Nazi.
Grammar Nazi.
Yeah, I wrote a column for a web thing, review site for him, and he used to correct all my spelling and stuff. So I'm just getting my own back. Sincerely, Jin Harfang, Commander of the Grey Panthers. Thank you for your essay. I rate it A, not A plus because of the spelling mistake at the end.
I'll give it A+.
So, this led me to the sort of idea of obviously trying to start or even restart like tabletop TCGs or anything as kind of like an older person. Because I think we've all noticed that when we go down to the game shop, there's usually younger people down there. And
what we class as children.
What we would class as children, usually 19-year-olds, but still.
Millennials.
To put it lightly, if you're going to play these games, you're going to run into these people. Now, there's a big stigma with tabletop gaming. Obviously, you've got these angry kids, that just scream at you for everything, for not knowing anything and not knowing the rules and blah, blah, blah. First off, no, absolutely at no point should you, cast off any urges to play games like this, because I think they're rewarding. And to be fair, technically we're the demographic.
Yeah.
20 to 40-year-olds are the demographic. Oddly enough, they're expensive for a reason.
The kids can't afford them.
No.
Unless it's Christmas or birthday.
Indeed, and they're very easy to beat usually, because they usually only have.
I
that
really
one
like
day.
these guys, and they're painted in one colour.
Now, number one, I don't like painting miniatures. Full stop. Like when it comes to D&D, all of our miniatures are unpainted. A, because then I can call the dragon whatever fucking colour I want, and B, because I'm lazy and I don't paint. So yeah, no, you shouldn't cast off any need to play these games. If you're going to play games like this, you should do it. You're never going to have more money in your life than you have now. You should totally do it.
Yeah, try some stuff out.
Easily, but
obviously,
yeah.
and if you enjoy them,
Yeah.
carry on with them. If you don't, you don't.
First thing that you want to do with any new game shop is talk to the owners. Don't talk to the inhabitants, talk to the owners. Have a chat with the people behind the counter. See if they're agreeable. Because, your local game shop they're always going to be there. The kids not always going to be there. Especially, on weekends they'll probably be there, sure. But, evenings when you're just popping down, find a few kids playing Pokemon. And Pokemon's a dope game, to be fair. It's one I've always considered getting into. But, yeah, the point is that, the denizens of the local game shop, I mean, A, they're younger than you, so you shouldn't be worried about them. Fuck them.
We've discovered this. We want it as our own.
First off, yeah, I mean, it helps if you find people. It helps if you find people to go down with so that it's a bit more comfortable. I mean, I find it a lot easier to obviously pop down with one of you two, because then I can sit and
Well, that's what you said to start off with.
Yeah.
When we got back into Magic.
Yeah.
You were like, I'm playing Magic, you're getting in on it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going down on my own.
Absolutely. Also find out what the game shops do. I mean, our LGS, Luke, Lee, Georgie at Last Round Games, obviously, they're amazing. They do things like Friday Night Magic. They've got Thursday night where they do X-Wing occasionally. They call it Jedi Night. I quite like that. They've got set days where they do stuff. Find out that sort of thing. I always think it's worth scouting out a place before you drag down armies and stuff. For instance, our LGS doesn't play a lot of Warhammer because the tables aren't big enough to play anything above probably a 100-point game.
It's just built for skirmishes.
Yeah, it's
Which
not.
is what a lot
Plus
of
the
the
games
Warhammer
take-
stuff
but-
is now becoming.
But the thing is, Warhammer is also a game that could take hours. It could take the best part of a day. It's like playing Risk.
Risk. But yeah, I'll agree with you. Scouting out a place. Discovering what they sell. I mean, because ours obviously sell X-Wing, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. some other game shops might sell like the more newer stuff. I mean, like I don't know, Munchkin or friggin'.
Well, our place is selling Munchkin. They've branched into Freebooters, which is a German one.
German one about pirates.
But sometimes,
And then they've got into Infinity, which is a Spanish one.
but sometimes I think there's a difference between them selling tabletop games and selling like board games. And I think that's a big distinction that sometimes you might need to find out. There are gaming shops that just specialise in board games and don't move anywhere from that.
Yeah.
You know, you go
And
down
then
it,
vice versa. There's ones
got-
which purely do
that will
tabletop.
never look at you playing Monopoly in their shop and see it as agreeable kind of thing. I mean, first off, it's about finding an LGS that kind of suits you. And the thing is, if you like us, we've only got the one LGS, really, unless we go Leicester. But then when you go Leicester, it's like, you've got Tabletop Tyrants. I think that's about it.
They look at you very
There is
weird.
another one, you know.
What,
But
Golden
then
Sun?
yeah. But then you're having to kind of break into a group of people that, I mean, breaking into a local group of people is a lot easier. And
Because you've seen them before. There's a chance you've seen them before or loosely know who they are.
I mean, straight up, I mean, look, you know, yes, there might be permanently inhabited by younger players, but the thing is, at the end of the day, the way I look at it is, I'm not bothered about how old my opponent is. What I'm bothered about is
Can they play?
Is my opponent any good? And actually, if they're younger, most younger players are usually very, very good.
But we've seen a couple.
Not in our case. Like we're better than anybody down the shop. I'd like to just
But not Jared.
obviously throw. Jared never comes down with like proper decks though. He always comes down with like a pauper deck. You know, Jared's amazing.
And then thumps us.
I kind of
Something terrible.
genuinely one day I just want to give him one of my decks and go, right, play me with my deck, and he would trounce. But the thing is that, like, when you find a player like that, I always say that when you find that one player who is really good, that kind of proper sensei character, just sit and play games with them and engage them in conversation, because it's amazing how much you learn about a game
Well, how quickly I picked
in
up
idle conversation.
how quickly I picked up Magic with playing with you
Yeah.
and Jared.
Yeah.
And then was going into our first tournament with a deck that I had built myself from a booster box.
Yeah.
And come joint second.
Yeah, which was awesome.
And had only been playing for a couple of months.
I mean, the thing is that with every walk of life, you're going to have assholes. And unfortunately, there's always going to be drama and people like that. And you've just got to you've got to rise above that bit. You know, that's the problem. You know, if somebody is snotty with you, you come in and you're like, oh yeah, do you mind if I watch you play a game? Well, yeah, I do. Just like, all right then, no problem. Walk off and just be like, fuck them.
They're lost.
Because at the end of the day, gaming's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, it's supposed to be enjoyed with
Yeah.
others. And
Like,
if there's
you
those
know-
people who don't, then feck them.
I've spent all day getting beaten at X-Wing, you know. I haven't played one game where I've won today, and I'm like, am I put off? No, I had fun. And that's enough, you know. I don't need to do anything else other than that. I just need to play X-Wing, and that's it, you know. And if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. Cool, you know. That first game I played with Luke on the Friday, you know, came really close. It was like there was literally
You come to who shot first.
there was literally 1 point in it, you know. And
Yeah,
he
but
just
even when losing, did you learn something from it?
yes, that's the thing.
Then that's all.
And that's
that
all you
needs-
need. That is all you need.
It is,
Well,
indeed.
at the end of the day.
As I say, it's like, as you know, if anyone knows me, I'm just going to... Oops.
Right.
When I get angry playing games, I get really angry.
Oh, God.
But,
Yeah.
but the thing is, when I get really angry, I then learn on... Because I know I can play better.
It's like that Skywhaler shot. You played 2 Skywhaler shots against something I'd hex
It's proved. Yeah.
and you were like, "Can I take that back?" And I was like, "Well, actually, no.
Because you've got to learn. And that's how I've always played from then
You're not
on.
going to learn." Like up until then, I was like, "Yeah, we'll take it back, no problem at all." I was like, "No, look, in this one situation, no,
Because I would have beat you.
because I'm about to beat you anyway, and you know, if you take that back, you're going to think that the mistake made you lose, and I didn't want you to think that the mistake you just made you lose. It didn't. What made you lose was not doing it sooner.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fine. That's something that you need to learn, and you only learn these things. You only learn these things by doing them. You only ever learn by making the mistake first time.
Yeah.
You make the mistake and you go, "Ah, shit, that doesn't work." Like building a deck is like one of the most arduous processes in the world.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand. You have to get out all your cards. You have to get out all of your dual-coloured cards, your artifacts, your lands, your special lands. You have to get out your green deck and your red deck. You have to find that card that you're brewing around and find 4 of it and put it down and look at it and be like, right, so how do I make this work? And then you have to decide how much ramp you want in there, how much card draw you want in there. You know, do you want a load of creature removal? Do you want this? It's arduous. And then you take it to a game shop or somewhere to play it, and then you play a few rounds, and then you find out that it doesn't work. It's well too slow, you know.
Yeah, you get to test out like the pros and cons of a deck. You get to see where it's going wrong, and then improve upon it.
But you need to do things like that, and the only way you get better is by doing things like that. The thing is, like, an LGS, like, if you find an LGS, I think you just need to kind of not write it off immediately is the first thing. Don't just walk in and be like, nah, I'm not going to this one because blah, blah, blah.
I don't like this Atmos, you know.
Oh, I don't like this kid. This kid was annoying me, so I'm not going there again. Do you know what? Give it a few.
Yeah.
Give it a few days and then make a decision, because you'll find that, like, you want to go at different times of day and, you know, find out when you can go. I mean, I'll go down our LGS maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And usually not for long. Like, usually I'll pop down on a day off. I'll have one day where I'm like, yo, I'm going down and I'm going to play and it's going to be awesome. And then I'll go down for, like, Friday Night Magic or X-Wing now. You know, either way, whichever one that I pick.
Yeah, because, like, I go there, like, during most of my lunch breaks just to see if they've got any...
I'll go down on my lunch breaks, but that's mainly to just sort of say hi and...
Say hi, because, you know, at the end of the day, we like our
yeah, I've got to say, Luke's fairly approachable.
Yeah.
Georgie's definitely fairly approachable. And Friday night when Lee's down there, you know, he's approachable as hell. You know, you sit there and play Commander with him and he's just like,
and he
chill.
absolutely scores you.
He's so chill, it's brilliant. But, like, I kind of feel... Writing off an LGS because of the community that's there, I mean...
Well, that's like the reason like we played LoL and Overwatch. Like, the community's salty as fuck, but we still keep going.
Totally.
Because we still enjoy the game. And the games are what we want to play. We want to learn from them. We like to, you know, see where we're going wrong, see how we can improve. It's just something which is enjoyable.
Yeah, so obviously... Don't write out one. Don't write off a LGS as soon as you get there.
Oh, no.
Obviously, you want to find one that supports whatever you're doing. We've already sort of said that, but that's kind of important. Just do that again. Or, like, just join in with what they're doing.
Yeah.
Join in with what they're doing. Don't spend too much money, and then, like, bring your stuff down and see if they want to play that as well.
I wasn't even, like, looking at freebooters until, like, I met the guys down at last realm, and I kind of bought into it, and I've started having fun with the guys. Yeah, I was like a Yu-Gi-Oh player before and a Pokemon player before, but then they've introduced me into so many others.
I mean, like, the Yu-Gi-Oh crowd down there isn't particularly...
No, it's me and a couple of others.
It's basically run by you and your mates. But like I say, you and your mates go down there and play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, literally Thursday
you can always grab mates to
specific
kind
one.
of do your thing. But like I say, if you don't have friends to kind of do your specific thing, then obviously
Yeah, because I've seen like
kind
there's a
of
local
make
D&D group that go there every Thursday.
Yeah.
We're there at Yu-Gi-Oh nights.
they don't seem. Have you watched them play?
No.
Yeah, I've never seen them down there. They always come down and then they always end up playing Magic. It's quite weird. It's cool though.
Yeah, but yeah, with your local places, obviously, even if they don't support your stuff, obviously, you know, bring your stuff down. You know,
I mean, obviously, like when it comes to LGS etiquette, full stop. If you're doing stuff down there, like I always say, make sure that you buy from that shop. Now, it might sometimes be a little bit more expensive. Like,
no, just in general, just support your local because you know, I like local businesses anyway.
I always say, like, if I can't buy something directly from there, like for instance, like I'm down, I want a Millennium Falcon, like for X-Wing. Obviously, you bought me the Heroes of the Resistance one, but the actual proper Millennium Falcon itself has so many upgrade cards I just need for my list, just kind of thing. And I want to run 2 Millennium Falcons because it looks like a fun list, just having 2 big ships flying around, going boom, 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 die, kind of thing. The like you know, Luke said, you know, I can't get that one in. Nobody can. It's ridiculous. So I'm forced to buy that online, kind of thing. But everything else, it's like, well, yeah, you know, I can do that. It's like, well, yeah, cool, I'll buy that then.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mind, but I don't mind sometimes paying £1 or £2 extra to A, get it on that day, and B, obviously to kind of just support the local shop, you know.
Well, Luke saw that like we were playing obviously the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff and got some of the new stuff in, and while there was nothing I wanted from that particular set, I still bought some of it just because I wanted to support my local. I've managed to pull the ultra rare out of the pack, which was fucking uber lucky, I tell you.
Yeah.
But you know,
So you weren't salty about it?
oh, I wouldn't have been salty about it anyway.
Unlike your Kaladesh.
But Kaladesh, that was a terrible set.
Well, it's current, so it wasn't a terrible set. It is a terrible set, unfortunately.
It is a terrible
Hey,
set.
the Revolt looks like it's going to sort things out, maybe. But, you know, I think we've all...
Yeah, but to fix that train wreck, I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, Smuggler's Copters, that they need a counter now. That
Did like badly.
That isn't a 3-cost spell, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, obviously we trailed off a little there, but, yeah...
I just felt like I had to get that rib in.
I do feel
Fuck
I do feel that for the position of somebody who maybe doesn't have people to go down with, but generally gamers are friendly people. We tend to be social by nature, you know.
I mean,
Well, the amount of people we've met and spoke to and now friends with.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, Connor and
Jack.
Jack. I was going to say Jake, but it's Jack. Connor and Jack, for instance, you know, I mean, Connor sat there and taught us how to play X-Wing, you know.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I probably talked to him, 2 or 3 times before that?
Yeah.
And now I talk to him, like...
You talk to him all the time.
If he's in there, I beeline. I'm like, Connor!
Yeah, exactly, you do.
Talk to me! You know. And actually, I feel like I've genuinely made friends being down there, you know.
It's the fact that he's come up to us and asked us about stuff involving D&D.
He kind of sat there and, like, talked D&D with us for ages. And, like, you know, we haven't even kind of scratched the surface with kind of the D&D stuff that we get on with. Some of the, like, extra stuff we've thrown in and all that business, you know. But, like, when push comes to shove, most of the time it's a social experience. And you'll find that a lot of the people down there are just as nervous about talking to people anyway. So, you know, chinwag, just walk up to somebody and just be like, oh, what are you playing? You know,
dive straight in there.
If they're playing something you're not sure about, believe me, most of us are kind of quite maternal about the games we play. You know, if someone's playing something that you don't recognise, walk up and just be like, yo, what are you playing? And they will sit there and they will bang on about that game. You know, I do.
Doing exactly what we do now.
We just did. You know what I mean? We're talking about D&D and, like, D&D's not even particularly interesting to talk about. We haven't even talked about, like, any of the, like, stuff we got on with. But, like, you know, like I was saying, like, D&D 5th edition is very much kind of like a story-driven RPG, whereas, like, 3.5 was very much like a, you know, combat-driven RPG. The whole point is that what actually happens down the game shops is, like, people end up telling you things like that. And it's like penetrating anything. I mean, Jin, you specifically, for instance, you do online gaming. You know, we've played Rainbow Six so many nights, it's not even funny. But, like, if you think when you first played that game, you didn't know the difference between the UMP-45 being, like, the best submachine gun in the game, or just using the MP5, because, let's be fair, we use the MP5. You know, or the FAMAS being completely broken. You find these things out playing. You just do. And the only way to, like, quell these urges is just to play, you know. And that's kind of it. Also, like, you know, see if any of your mates are, like, willing to start something with you. You'll be surprised how quickly like-minded people find like-minded things. There's a guy down there who plays Pokemon, and I've known him for years, and I didn't even know he played Pokemon. Saw him today, and I was like, right, mate. It's like, I haven't seen you in, like, 4 years. You know, how are you? He's like, yeah, I just got back into Pokemon. Like, back into Pokemon? You were into Pokemon when I was into Pokemon. Like, communication, man. You know, unfortunately, gaming still has this stigma around it. Yeah, it helps to talk to people and find out what people are into. You know, simple as. Anything else to add, lads?
No, just all the points that we put in. Just get in there, get stuck in. Seriously, because
exactly. You just got the thing is you've got to take the bull by the horns and just go for it. Because if you don't, you're just going to be like,
you spend all of your time worrying about going and doing it.
Yeah,
you worry about the actual act rather than just doing it.
But as you said, as a gamer, you have a love for this.
Yeah.
And if you don't know it, you're inquisitive, like, this looks fun. Let's have a look. You know what I mean? And then you start to ask.
I mean, to obviously go into your second question a little bit deeper, obviously, like, you know, can you do this without talking to another person? No. Not really, no. But even if you're just talking about the game they're playing, I mean, that's all you ever really... I always sort of see, like, conversations as kind of like, you know, they only need to serve the purpose they serve in that particular instant. So in that particular instant, all you really need to know from that person is, are they playing that card they just put down, and can they play that card they just put down? You don't need to know how their mum's doing. You don't need to know, you know...
What they're having for tea tonight.
You know, you can raise that with them if you want to have a chinwag with them, but you don't need to know anything like that about them. Being social is kind of...
Not asking 20 questions.
Yeah. Games are social by nature. They kind of force you to talk to your opponent anyway. But you don't have to talk to them about, like, your wife and your kids if you don't want to, you know.
That's why I enjoy playing other games with other people I don't know, because then you get to know them as a person.
The other day, someone turned around to me and said, "Oh, I didn't realise you were married." I was like, "Seriously, we're playing card games? I'm wearing a giant gold ring on my finger. What did you think that meant?"
I wear it for lols.
She's like, "What? This is my impression of the soul ring." You know, what? You know... People don't have. People aren't bothered about your personal life. They're bothered about gaming, you know. And if they're interested in your personal life, they'll chat with you. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's a simple case of just ripping off the band-aid and doing it. As simple as that, you know. Or even like, you know, it sounds strange, but like, take your kid down there. Take whichever one's eldest down there. You know, show them all the fun things that are down there, and you'll get talking with the older people down there, and they'll, you know, like I say, don't drag all your stuff down there. The worst thing you can do, like, to me, like, you know, going down to an LGS with all of your games on you is like showing up to your first date with your mum and your dad in tow.
Yeah.
This is who I am! You know, this is my personal life. It's like, whoa, you know, slow down there, you know. How about pop in and see what our policies are, you know. No, we don't play Warhammer here. We don't even speak of it, you know.
What is it?
What is this Warhammer you speak of? I don't know who this Emperor is.
Emperor.
But nobody
Who is this Emperor?
Nobody is getting sacrificed in the Emperor's name. I don't even know what multiple deep strikes are. Get out. You know.
What, codename Metal Rain?
Metal Rain. They're little metal boxes. All I'm saying is that, you know, you just got to do it, mate. Simple as.
You need to.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, as we said, you're just going to be sat on the sidelines like...
All else fails, there are online equivalents. There are online ways of doing tabletop gaming. A lot of them kind of unofficially sort of backed. Like Magic has a few programs you can download and play Magic.
Yu-Gi-Oh has Yu-Gi-Oh Pro.
Yeah.
Pokemon has an official.
Pokemon has an official. If you buy anything Pokemon, you just get to scan it through and you get the product you bought. Which
you get the QR code, which is amazing.
Is wicked. I love that. The only thing I do find is that online does have a bit of its own meta, you know.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to Luke today, and obviously, like the Greninja deck is like one of the top in the world.
Yeah, buy 3 of that starter deck, and you've got it's 2 of the
starter decks, 4 water balls, and like 3 Greninja breaks. You have the best deck in the country, kind of thing, or whatever it is. The problem is that people then build assassin decks around that, so you're playing a very different meta.
Yeah.
You know, it's very, like I say, it's just about talking to people, you know, feeling out the situation and then going and doing it. So, yeah, do it. Seriously, it's one of the best things I've done. One of the best things I've done is gone down to a cave. You know, I'm pretty good friends with the owner now. Well, I say friends, you know. I can sit and chat to him, you know what I mean? And walk in there and I'm like...
You can sit and chat with him, he can beat you at X-Wing, you know.
I don't, yeah.
To be honest, I think
you know,
all 3 of us can do that anyway.
He's certainly a mate of mine, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, if I saw him in the street struggling, like, I'd run over and help, kind of thing. He's not like somebody that I'm just going to wander by in the street and not say nothing. He's a good lad, you know. Yeah, obviously, you know, pseudo plug there for Last Round Games, who are amazing. Bowley Court, go down there, buy all your things.
Buy all the things.
Buy all the things. Yeah, I think that's basically everything to say. Oh, and whenever you go there, always buy a drink.
Always.
It's the stupidest thing in the world, but seriously, a drink, that's what they make the most profit on.
Yeah.
Buy snacks. Buy a drink, buy a snack, and do that.
Chill. Yeah.
Just chill, I've sat down there before for like an hour just doing nothing, just looking over D&D and looking over my campaign notes and doing nothing.
Yeah, I've done that as well.
And then someone's just wandered over and just been like, do you fancy a game of Magic? You're like, yeah, cool. And just whip your deck out, play it. It's all good. Simple as. Yeah. I think we've covered that one fairly extensively.
Yeah.
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 Cool. Well, thank you very much for your question. Like I say, any other viewers' topics you want to throw at us, jjjabc@outlook.com. Post it on the Facebook group. Send me a private message. Send Josh a private message. Don't send Joe private messages.
Don't.
It gets weird.
Yeah.
I don't want to see your penis anymore, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He'll ask for
It-
Snapchat and everything.
One time that happened. One freaking time.
One time too many, sir.
One time.
Yeah, so I think that basically wraps up this week, really, unless we've got anything else we were wanting to talk about. I think that's basically everything. I mean, I know this hasn't been particularly structured, but nothing's really happened this week, is kind of how I feel.
As I said to you, it's very much like December's been really quiet.
I've not played anything. I mean, Last Guardian came out, but I kind of vowed not to buy it until it came down in price, so I haven't bought it.
Or it's second hand.
Seriously, buy it at some point when you are able, though.
Of course. The game looks amazing. The game does look amazing. And like I say, other than...
If you want to
And obviously, dabbling into X-Wing, unfortunately, makes it hard to talk about it, because, like, we're only just starting. You're like, I've dropped 50 quid on it, okay, okay.
It was like in the episode 0 when we were talking about commander decks. We've never really built commander decks.
And now I know loads more about commander decks. Like
Exactly.
what's good, what's bad, what isn't, and it's interesting, yeah. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything else to really go over. I'm not sure what we'll talk about next week. We'll have a look. I mean, we haven't really hit on anime and cartoons and stuff.
That's where, like, everything is, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll.
I can throw in a lot of
I'm thinking anime and cartoons and stuff.
interesting
next week.
intrigues into
Yeah,
this.
yeah. I don't think that's too bad. Oh, we got a question from Kirk.
Did we?
Simply says, are there any tabletop RPGs or tabletop games in general that we want to play or are looking forward to playing?
Tabletop RPG.
The D&D Star Wars, the Imperial Assault.
Age of Rebellion.
That's the one.
Yeah. After I'm on a bit of a Star Wars binge at the minute. I mean, obviously with Rogue One
I
coming
would
out
not.
soon,
I
I'm
would.
like,
I really wouldn't mind playing that.
neither would I actually.
And I know Luke's running tutorial campaign.
I mean,
start off
I'd be
with.
tempted by the starter set from him and then run away and be like, no, I don't want to be taught how to play it. I want to get into this because there's a DM and everything, so it's very.
No, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's what he's planning on doing. And then you can buy all the little miniatures as well,
Yeah.
and they don't seem bad priced either.
No,
And they come just grey. So if you really do want to paint them,
I don't like painting.
no, but I'm just saying
Yeah,
because there is
yeah.
hobbyists that would want to paint.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm not disadvocating painting.
It's like
Painting,
Luke
yeah.
will paint them because
Well, he's
He
awesome
likes
at painting
painting.
stuff. Have you seen his fucking?
yeah,
little
but he's
cabinet?
like
Holy
he's
crap.
like
He's Greedo. He's just like.
that Greedo's amazing.
That's Greedo. What the hell? Yeah. Oh, Age of Rebellion does look interesting. I don't particularly like its die system, but I'm kind of
Nor do I.
willing to kind of put it on the side.
But it
to
looks
kind of be
good.
like- yeah. Joe.
I don't really, can't really think of anything I'm really like looking forward to playing. I mean, I want to play the Dark Souls board game at one point.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh, we didn't kickstart, did we?
no, we didn't.
We made this whole plan to kickstart it and get all the free stuff, and then I think it was like the last day of the pledging, and I was like, "Well, I'm broke."
I think we're all broke.
It was 150 quid at the time.
Yeah, I wish I had 100.
You've got loads of stuff. The problem is you've got about 500 quid's worth of stuff. So now if we had to buy all the like expansions and stuff, it would cost us loads more. But to me, that disincentivizes it. This is why I don't like Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Dark Souls I wanted to get into. I want to try out the Bloodborne one. Just
When that comes out, that does look
because Bloodborne, I love that frigging game a bit too much. I'm trying to think of what else because I will be getting into X-Wing in the new year.
good.
With the help of you two.
Roll Rebels with me.
Yo, yeah.
No, you got to go roll. You got to roll scum. You do.
Stop
You've got to roll.
force-
You've got to roll it because That's the only other faction you've got to. I do want to roll rebels at some point because they look ace.
Oh, I
To
just
be
want
fair-
I want
to
to
be
roll
fair, I
rebels
think-
just because of rebels.
I think we're going to end up with like a couple of lists for each one, kind of thing. But yeah, but like slowly and over time. That's the other thing with a new LGS. Don't buy everything at once. Make sure you buy it in little bursts.
Unless you know what you're getting into.
Tabletopping is very resellable. If you buy something that you then don't want, you can sell it off quite easily. You know, usually like with the aid of eBay or stuff like that. The last thing you want to do is spend hundreds of pounds on stuff and then have to, you know, move £100 worth of stuff. That's what the shop does. You know, don't emulate the shop. Yeah. So, is that everything for you? Or?
Yeah, just the Dark Souls one I want to get into. I know there's a couple new Yu-Gi-Oh sets I want to buy in the new year. With the new archetypes coming out, which I am going to buy. I'm not going to deny it. But no, just I can't think of anything off the top of my head. How about you, Sir John?
You see, the problem I have is that, like, there's certainly RPG systems that I want to get into. I mean, I've already said, like, I want to dabble in Pokemon a bit. After watching Luke and Omar play today, I was like, I kind of want to get into this a little bit.
I don't want to admit it, but I kind of do.
After what you saw with my bloody game, my Zygarde.
That was so funny. That's the funniest, most animated game of Pokemon I've ever seen. Apart from my first ever draft draft tournament with Martin, which I still hold as the best game of Magic I have ever played in the
you
history
two were
of
loud
ever.
as hell. You
It
could
was
hear
from
you
watching
5
it,
doors
yeah.
down.
It was so good.
I feel like, RPG-wise, Call of Cthulhu. I really, really,
Call of Cthulhu.
really want to play.
You just
Like-
want because it's Cthulhu.
I want to get a smaller group to do it.
Oh, just because the madness system is mental.
It's so good, and to be fair, there's a lot. From what I've read, it seems just dirt loads of fun. Rachel is the problem, is that she started playing the Warlock, and obviously she's
Took Cthulhu.
took Cthulhu as her patron. And ever since then, I'm like, Call of Cthulhu is a great system, the madness system and everything. You know, your ability to make decisions is impeded by how mad you are or how invested you are with the older gods and stuff like that. I love that idea.
It sounds like Darkest Dungeon.
Oh no! It's
Like the madness.
all news.
oh no! What was it called? Eternal Darkness for the GameCube.
Oh yeah.
It's that the board game.
That the board game.
It's brilliant.
Crazy. So there was that. I was interested in Malifaux for a bit, but there just doesn't seem enough people playing it.
Yeah.
At the minute.
To me, I don't know. It just looks something. There's a lot of characters in it that I just don't jump out at me.
There's a weird aesthetic to it.
I don't see any robots, therefore I am not.
There's the whiskey golem.
There's the whiskey golem.
a
That's
robot.
it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any other like
But
form
with-
golems
with-
or anything like that.
I heard rumblings that there was going to be a Mech Warrior board game,
Oh,
Yeah, I'd buy into that.
and
straight away.
if that is the case and that's happening, then yeah, I would buy an Atlas or two. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
I
I've
would.
currently got an erection just by the mere thought
Just the
of that.
idea.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's not awkward at all.
No.
Yeah, like I say, there's nothing. The problem is that I've never really caught up with gaming news. Like, obviously, I've got my websites that I go to. I check up on the gaming news and go, oh wow, this sounds good. I've never really done that with like board gaming and stuff. I've never really like had a thing to sort of go over and do. When it comes to like Magic the Gathering and stuff like that, I've got my resource sites now that I go to, you know, and I've got my YouTube channels that I go to. I've just found some X-Wing channels that have like ship profiles and like list profiles and stuff like that, which is quite cool. I mean, X-Wing, I'm looking forward to getting into. I've just bought it. So as far as I'm concerned, I've got a lot to learn. So I'm looking forward to carrying on with that. But with RPG-wise, I mean, Call of Cthulhu is the only one I've really wanted to track down and really get my teeth into, to be fair. Other than that, like you say, Star Wars has, to be fair, ever since it's been mentioned to me, I've been like, yeah, I feel like running it. But at the same time, I knew we were all playing D&D, and then I knew a few people were like, I'm not really interested in doing the whole space opera thing. One of the things I've always wanted to do, just sort of sidelining completely, is kind of taking D&D and like making something like Outlaw Star work in it, like the universe of Outlaw Star.
That'd be cool.
Just create like a create like you start off with your own grappler ship. You are pirates, or mercenaries or whatever you want to be. Well, more outlaws to be fair. And then you've got different classes and you go to different planets. I love that planet hopping idea. There's a Star Trek RPG. And that has always sounded fun because it's kind of cool. You got your science officer, your captain, and everything. You don't play as the captain. You can't play as the captain. That's one of the things they do. But you can play as the leader of the away mission, and you guys basically you have an away team that you guys always are. You always go down to the ship. You always go down to the surface, yada yada yada. One of you can stay up on the ship if you want to be a communications officer, and you can scan for things, and you roll to scan, and you roll to use the equipment and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
It seems really interesting, but at the same time, I'd hate to DM it.
Yeah.
D&D is fine because it lives in one cohesive universe. To DM a new universe every fucking week. Yeah, no. It would just drive me balmy trying to think of the next. It would end up more episodes of Rick and Morty than it would episodes of Star Trek.
Yeah.
There's all these people, guys, and they got hands on their heads. They're not good, Morty. Morty, I got an idea, Morty.
Okay,
Let's get drunk.
It's like that movie, The Purge. It's just an entire planet of the Purge.
The Purge planet.
The Purge planet.
Yeah. So yeah, last minute question, just because I saw it. Other than that, yeah, that's all I can really think of.
I can't really think of anything else.
So Call of Cthulhu.
Call of Cthulhu, definitely. Yeah.
Dark
And
Souls.
The Dark Souls board game, and obviously you were talking about. What have you talked about?
The Star Wars one.
Star Wars one.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Age of Rebellion.
Age of Rebellion. The thing is, the only problem with Age of Rebellion is obviously there's three. There's Age of Rebellion. There's the bounty hunter one.
The smuggler one looks
where
fun.
you can be like a smuggler or a bounty hunter or a pirate or anything like that. And then there's the Imperial one where you can play as like a stormtrooper and stuff like that.
There's one where you can play as a Jedi as well.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Not the Imperial. The Imperials are always the bad guys. You can't play the Imperials yet.
I want to play as the Imperials.
Age of Rebellion, obviously, you play the Rebels. You don't play the Jedi. There is one where you play Jedi.
Rebel Scum.
Rebel Scum. But yeah, no, I like the idea of it. I think the problem I have with the Star Wars universe is I don't think it leaves a lot of creativity on behalf of a DM. I kind of feel like if you wrote in, for instance, rebels are always going to be fighting the actual Imperial forces themselves. You're never going to end up fighting Sith or Dark Jedi. Not as rebels.
Nope.
Have you seen that canon comic of fucking Darth Vader just sat there just slaying hundreds of thousands of troops?
Yeah.
It's that's canon. That he did that. Okay, that's what he's capable of. You got to remember that every Star Wars movie you watch is Jedi versus Jedi. So yeah, they're a match for each other. When
It's not Jedi versus bog standard humans.
When it's Jedi versus people like me with blasters, it's not even worth 1/100th of their power. It's like Goku.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
It's like Goku slapping sheep. Get out of my face,
Teleport.
Everybody's always like, oh yeah, but you could just do this to Darth Vader, blah 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 blah. Yeah, Darth Vader can't force choke Jedis because they're force sensitive and know how to stop it. Vader could force choke a field of men, just be like, die, and they're like,
Dead.
Dead. And he's just like, right, there's 100 of you dead, and I haven't even pulled out my lightsaber yet. Are we done? No.
Half an hour.
Cool. Here comes the Emperor. I do like my space wizards. I think they're cool.
Space Wizard. Space Samurai.
I guess I would like. The problem I think is I don't think you could ever. People would be waiting for them. People would be waiting for a Jedi to appear or a Sith to appear. They'd be like dragons in D&D. When they appear, everybody's secretly like, "Oh fucking hell, really? Dragons?"
Well, with the whole, you'd have to be facing Dark Sith, and you'd rarely ever see Jedi. That was the problem which I had with that. What was it? Star Wars Galaxy MMO. It was set during the Rebellion Age, but yet
You
you
see,
could
that's-
play as friggin' Jedi. They're supposed to be nearly extinct.
Yeah.
How the can you play as them?
What, the original one? The one that came out before the...
Before Knights of the Old Republic, Galaxies,
Yeah, before or after the overhaul to the combat.
because
Before it was like, if you saw a Jedi on your server, they were one of like 20.
yeah,
There was like 20 Jedi on a server of like 4,000 people, and there was maybe like... That was it. Like,
yeah, that was literally it. Whereas now you can just pick Jedi.
Now it's like, I'll play Jedi because I want a glowy glow stick.
your
Like, no,
race is nearly extinct.
Knights of the Old Republic kind of makes sense.
Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic
because
made sense, but obviously in that generation,
just didn't at all. Yeah, it's strange. Well, thank you for the question. And I think that does actually wrap it up, to be fair. I think we managed to squeeze another 10 minutes out of that. So, certainly from me and from Josh and Joe, I would like to say thank you very much for listening. Like I say, it's not been particularly planned this week. I think we just kind of decided to ad-lib last minute. We kind of changed everything last minute. We're
wing
like,
it.
let's not talk about this, let's talk about this. So it'll be a bit more
Structured.
collected next week at the very
hope.
least. So thank you for listening. If you haven't listened to this point, obviously send in your questions, send in your ideas, join us on Facebook,
Tell your friends.
add us on Twitter, I guess. I'll start looking at Twitter if people
Use
add
the
us on Twitter.
voice, Joe.
Use the rape voice.
What, the King of Cringe.
The
Yes,
king of
do
cringe
it
voice,
because it
do
makes me feel horrible. But just do it.
Oh, good lord. Please tell your friends.
It's like
Spread the word.
It's happening against my will.
Oh my god! Just stop now. I feel sick. It's horrible.
So, from all of us at the Escape Pod, thank you very, very, very much. And please tune in next week. Honestly, it'll be more cohesive.
We won't let the rape voice happen again.
Oh, believe
Oh,
you
I
me,
will.
the
I will.
King of
I will.
Cringe will
It's
always
horrible.
be here.
So, goodbye from me.
And TTFN from me.
This is goodbye from the King of Cringe.
You sound like that guy from Fallout 3. What's he called?
What, your
Road
settlements are under attack?
Dog? Road Dog or something like that?
Oh, I don't know.
What?
It's not Fallout 1 or 2, so I don't care.
Good. Like I say, yes,
His name's
goodbye.
Herbert. Who cares? His name's Bob.
Goodbye from us.
Goodbye.
Bye.
TTFN.